Hey everybody, welcome to the Canary Cry News Talk live stream pre-stream. We're just about to get the show started. Thanks for being patient with us. Look at us getting started kind of a little bit more on time than usual. It's fun. All right, head on over to CanaryCry.Party to find all the different links you need to fully connect to other Canarians as well as the show. Why don't you check out Canary Cry Supply Drop while you're at it. That's always a fun place to check out. Other than that, it's just a normal show, folks. Everybody calm down. It's going to be a hoot. You're going to love it. Other than that, stay hydrated. Buckle your seatbelts. Not a joke. Let's go.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is June 10th, 2022. We are live to tape on episode 495. And today, Insurrection Rituals. And signing on from off the grid, Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy, Basil.
And my name is Gonz, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, a.k.a. the Cabana Boy, here to serve you a podcast that brings you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events, live from California. Basil, you're coming in so pixelated on video.
Yeah.
You look like a piece of art.
I do look like a...
You look like a Picasso painting.
Like a cheap NFT, baby.
This is incredible.
That is weird. I can try refreshing, although I kind of like it.
I think cool. There's some. It adds to the mystique. I will say.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm
just trying to throw the artificial intelligence off its game.
The facial recognition.
Yeah.
It already has a hard time. It thinks that I'm podcasting with Cookie Monster.
Yeah, no, it's used to it now.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, folks, well, we got a great show for you today. Of course, we're going to spend a little bit of time reviewing and looking into the prime time January 6th, I don't know, television event. Oh, don't miss it. The television event of the summer. But of course, after that, we're going to be checking in with FLIPPY. A little rundown on the current state of the gun control situation in the U.S. And then an update to the Beast system, Gonz. We love our Beast system updates. It's like a iOS update, only for, dystopian sort of anti-human robot world.
Cipher point in the abyss opening, the keys unlocking the abyss.
Yeah, indeed. Mm-hmm. And of course, in the second block of the show, when we bid adieu to YouTube, you YouTubers are going to have to find another place to watch the show, but we'll be checking in with some COVID news. That's actually, for once, there's some interesting COVID news going on. And, oh my gosh, the ticks just keep on ticking, folks. Tick-tock. The ticks are coming for you. And then we'll get into some funky alien NASA stuff at the end of the show, which you're not going to want to miss.
It's all connected.
Yeah, it's all connected, folks. So stick around. But first, Gonz, it's time for lead stories.
January 6 rioters.
Did you know there was a hearing yesterday?
No.
About this insurrection, the brink of the fall of our country.
Yeah, it's primetime television, baby.
Yeah. As
Love it.
New listeners may not know, you can go back and check it out. We were live on January 6th.
Yeah.
And we were reporting
it was happening
on...
as we had other news to talk about. It was happening, and we dropped everything and reported on it live.
Yep. And
and coincidentally, it was way more boring watching it live because you didn't. Nothing was going on. It was just a bunch of people standing around with flags.
We were documenting PBS, I believe, and there was a reporter inside the Capitol building, and they're coming, they're at the door, they're knocking on the door, and then they walk, and then they've breached the door. And there's people walking in, with backpacks,
taking selfies
taking
with cops,
pictures, and then interviewing a guy, and the guy saying like, "Oh, we're not here for Trump." Like, "Oh no, the wrong thing to say."
Yeah,
they tried to bury that, but we caught it, we documented it. But it's been a while, and been sitting on these jingles and stuff. But here we are, CNN politics takeaways from the prime time January 6th committee hearing. And I have it's a long clip. We don't have to play all of it, but it's a video of Pamela Brown. She is the CNN anchor / senior Washington correspondent. And so I thought we'd, as sort of a dual layer analysis, not just of the actual thing, but, looking at CNN. We've been tracking CNN and how they've changed their approach. So we'll see if there's any evidence of that here. But here we go. This is Pamela Brown reporting.
Priority. We just had protesters. Peace circle. Breach the line. We need backup.
Chilling new aerial footage showing the moment protesters breached the Capitol grounds on January 6th.
But this is now effectively a riot.
The new video, part of the debut primetime hearing of the Select Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol attack.
Donald Trump, the President of the United States, spurred a mob of domestic enemies of the Constitution to march down the Capitol and subvert American democracy.
The focus immediately turning to the role of the former president in those crucial hours when a mob descended on the Capitol.
President Trump summoned the mob, assembled the mob, and lit the flame of this attack.
Summoned is a very strong word to use, not just for its magical sort of workings, but to assign Trump as summoning specifically is very interesting.
Some sort of wizard.
Yeah, like labeling him as some kind of magician that summons its people to act, which is
not entirely untrue.
It's not entirely untrue, but also, these people up here are responsible for doing that for just another part of the population.
Of course. Sounds like whataboutism to me, Gonz.
Committee Vice Chair Republican Representative Liz Cheney referencing then President Trump's alleged 7-point plan to overturn the 2020 election, which a committee source said included possibly replacing the acting attorney general and instructing state officials to create false electors.
Aware of the rioters' chance to hang Mike Pence, the president responded with...
Just real quick on the commentary here of the video footage they showed. It said it was the video they showed at the committee, or made by the January 6th committee. And, it showed the chanting. You can hear, hang Pence. Is that what it said?
I couldn't quite hear it, but that's what she's claiming that it said.
Right. Well, let me play it again. But also the imagery of like B-roll of a noose. For no reason, that's the kind of stuff that they add in there to.
Well, is it the one that was set up? Allegedly, they did put like a show noose, like
as part of the Pence
effigy of a noose up in front of the Capitol
to create false electors.
Hang Mike Pence.
Aware of the rioters' chance to hang Mike Pence, the president responded with this sentiment, quote, "Maybe our supporters have the right idea." Mike Pence, quote, deserves it.
Testimony also revealed that it was Pence who called Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Mark Milley, demanding that the National Guard defend the Capitol. Milley had further testified that the president's chief of staff called him to say that they needed to dispel the narrative that the president was not taking action.
We need to establish the narrative that that the president is still in charge and that things are steady or stable or what's that thing. I immediately interpret that as politics. Red flag for me personally, no action, but I remember it distinctly.
That's the Milley quote. That's something interesting. Milley popping up a couple different times on our show in the last week or so. The speech at West Point talking about urban warfare and like cyber clans or something.
Yeah,
robot
I think
wars.
that's an interesting sort of quote from him. We need to establish the narrative,
right,
that the president is still in charge.
Yeah. So, which is again interesting because in this context of Trump bad, he's the one he's trying to establish this other narrative to sort of uphold his agenda.
Right.
Which is like, yeah, everybody does that. What, you guys don't try to talk about a narrative to uphold? CNN.
What aboutism, Gonz?
Whatever. Okay. Your whataboutism is a whataboutism. So what about that? How about that?
Yeah, good one.
Obviously recorded testimony from former Attorney General Bill Barr disputing the president's claims of election fraud was played.
I made it clear I did not agree with the idea of saying the election was stolen and putting out this stuff, which I told the president was bullshit.
That
sorry.
the president's
I
daughter.
Completely forgot about that.
That's okay.
Forgot.
Keep moving. It's all right.
It's a Ivanka Trump.
Family show.
I respect Attorney General Barr. So I accepted what he was saying.
The committee says the president.
That was Ivanka Trump, just real briefly, because they brought her up. I do have this. There was a sub-headline here. Oh, maybe I just got rid of it.
Yeah, there's some drama, some family drama.
Yeah.
With the Ivanka Trump testimony.
Yeah. Daily Mail, basically, I'll just read the headline because Daily Mail, of course, does a great job of writing paragraphs for headlines that tell us what's going on. Trump throws Ivanka under the bus after she told January 6th committee she didn't believe the 2020 election was stolen. Furious ex-president says his daughter had long since checked out and was not involved in looking at votes. So there you go. Fun. Good times.
Well, it's interesting because when these elite families, I think they kind of have an understanding that at some point they have to kind of watch out for themselves. If it's better for Ivanka to disconnect from her father, that means that it's better for her father in some way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Of course, the media is trying to make this out into some big, family drama.
Oh, I'm sure he's calling her, I'm sorry I had to do it. It's just a media thing,
Yeah, I mean, we've all seen we've all seen Succession. We know how these these lizard people families work.
Yeah. Okay, continuing back with the CNN report.
The president had been told by at least 4 close aides that he had lost re-election. Testimony played reveals that at least one individual associated with the campaign even told him he was likely to lose the election.
At some point in the conversation, Matt Oskowski, who is the lead data person, was brought on, and I remember he delivered to the president pretty blunt terms that he was going to lose.
The committee played a huge emphasis on the role of 2 extremist groups, the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers. Both groups were visibly present at the Capitol on January 6th and were some of the first to break into the Capitol building.
I am not allowed to say what's going to happen today because everyone's just going to have to watch for themselves. But it's going to happen.
Never before seen footage from inside Republican Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy's office shows the moment everyone fled the scene. A GOP source with direct knowledge says McCarthy's staff was scared that day, and Cheney stated that McCarthy was calling Trump's allies and family members to try to persuade the president to intervene. Now, McCarthy, along with several other GOP members of Congress, have refused to comply with requests to testify before the committee.
He's patently embarrassing himself. If he were truly a leader within the House, he would want to get to the truth and the facts, which is where he started, but somewhere he went off the rails on that.
The committee also claims that multiple Republican lawmakers, including Representative Scott Perry, were advocating for pardons in the final weeks of the administration. The committee also heard live testimony from documentarian Nick Quested and Capitol Police Officer Caroline Edwards, who were both on the ground. Many Capitol officers were in attendance, watching on as one of their own testified about the extensive injuries she sustained as one of the first officers on the scene.
What I saw was just a war scene. I saw friends with blood all over their faces. I was slipping in people's blood.
A spokesman for former President Donald Trump slammed the January 6th committee hearing as a production, not a legislative hearing, in a tweet suggesting the public hearings won't hold eyeballs ahead of the November midterms. And of course, Brianna, the second one will be held Monday morning.
All right, we got more coming up. Part 2 coming up Monday.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the whole thing was just as boring as this rundown was.
Yeah.
Which was, it's exactly that. It is theater. I mean, you don't put something on primetime television if you're not planning on, distracting people or putting on a show.
I don't think most
whatever.
people. What was the primetime thing before January 6th?
What do you mean?
Do you know? What was the big feature prime time?
Well,
nobody knows. I mean, I don't know.
No, I mean,
I'm saying nobody pays attention.
I don't know, man. It's prime time.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody pays attention to this stuff.
Prime.
So they need eyeballs. They do the political thing. The political prime time is always good for getting attention.
This is a political move. That's why it was mostly sort of liberal mainstream news institutions that were airing it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's bad TV. It was, look, I did not watch it live. I don't even have live TV.
I saw clips coming out. The most provocative thing was that cop lady talking about it was a war zone.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay, a war zone. Okay.
I think there's an interesting connection to this prime time, legal proceedings thing that the public was kind of primed for, or I think they were banking on the fact that the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial had become sort of like a sensation, an entertainment sensation. Mm-hmm. People were obsessed with it, tuning into every clip, clipping it, posting on social media. It really sort of subsumed certain people's life. For a while. It was the most entertaining thing going on in the world. A beautiful distraction from, World War III, our government,
Inflation.
Selling out taxpayers to the military-industrial complex and manufacturing a conflict that they claim they don't want happening. All the awful things happening in the world. The Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial was a wonderful distraction that really captured people's imaginations. And it feels like they were kind of either on one hand, they were like trying to train the public to stay locked in on televised trials or legal proceedings, or they were just really hoping that once the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial was wrapped up, that people would just have the bloodlust for, live court proceedings. Oh, we just gotta get another camera in the courtroom. It's the only thing that matters to us now. But as far as I can tell, this was like the most boring thing anybody could have ever spent their time watching.
Well,
however,
they need to grab some controversy. So
there were watch parties. Did you see this?
No.
Yeah,
watch
Liz
parties. Basil froze.
Yeah,
he
the
froze for
blue
a second.
check mark. Oh, okay. Am I back?
Something about Liz Cheney, and then you froze until blue check mark.
Yep, gotcha. So Liz Cheney, so there's a tweet from Amy Carney, blue check mark, congressional correspondent at the New York Times. who tweeted, Liz Cheney gets applause at a small outdoor J6 hearing watch party. And it's this, and there's apparently at a park involved, at a park somewhere, there was, like a watch party. They set up a projector screen. They put on the trial, and there's maybe 100 people there, I'd say, just sitting on the grass and, I don't know, eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Watch parties will become a thing.
If you want to bring it up.
Oh, thank you for that. Just right on your face.
But it's funny because it's... I'm sorry?
The Skype gave the link was just in. Never mind.
Okay.
Go on, finish.
So, there's the link if you want it. There's maybe 100 people in this picture. It's funny how she said she called it a small outdoor J6 hearing watch party, which is, I found a bit insulting coming from like big time Annie Carney, New York Times congressional correspondent, because, there's a decent amount of people there. Whoever put this on really, got some people to come out. But Liz Cheney showed up, so that's a big deal. She got some applause as being one of the few Republican representatives who are, who were always anti the big lie.
Mm-hmm. I'm still waiting for this thing to load. All right. Yeah, okay. Oh, people at a picnic. I was going to say that this is very much what we'll probably be doing in the metaverse, like watch parties, except you're just in your avatar.
Oh, this could very much be a scene straight from the metaverse. I mean, this is basically what the metaverse is right now. You just show up and sit on fake grass, right.
And watch things. So, they got to draw some kind of controversy. So they went to Truth Social, which I think is very fascinating. We always complained about how tweets were news. People would just take tweets and make it news. And this is maybe solidifying Truth Social as some kind of symbiotic thing for media, to continue the Trump hate train going. This is Daily Beast headline: January 6 organizer has meltdown as House committee lays out its case. And it says, as the Jan 6 committee tasked with investigating the Capitol riot presented its case to the American people on Thursday evening, Jan 6 organizer and Stop the Steal leader Ali Alexander had a meltdown on Donald Trump's Truth Social platform. Truth Social, hyperlinked Truth Social. Yeah.
Oh, wow. They really want people to go to Truth Social.
Actually, no, it's to another Daily Beast article about how Trump
lame.
ripped off Twitter or something like that. Anyway, it says, and it quotes all the tweets. Edited audio, he wrote, quote, have you ever seen a video with more fake edits and splices? This video is a spoof. Audio is completely edited. Which is like, all right, Ollie, like every video is edited these days. It's like, you relax.
What was he referring to? Something in the trial?
Like probably some the part of what we saw with the the noose and stuff. I mean, we pointed it out. I think that's what he's talking about. Okay, continuing here. More true. What are they called when they post stuff on Truth Social?
They're called truths.
Truths.
They're truths.
Okay.
Yeah.
Truths.
You truth something.
J6 committee, you won't be getting an Oscar for this. Hoax! Alexander continued as he sent out a dozen frenzied posts about the testimony. Quote, this is so overly scripted, all teleprompter, no authenticity. This ain't convincing anyone. In another message posted to Truth Social, Alexander, who spoke to the Jan 6 committee for more than 8 hours back in December, wrote, we, period, did, period, nothing, period, wrong, period, all caps. Alexander didn't return the Daily Beast's request for comment following the committee's testimony. The twice impeached former president likewise attacked what he billed as the, quote, unselect committee, refusing to, quote, play any of the many positive witnesses and statements. Quote, our country is in such trouble, he concluded on Thursday night. On Friday morning, Trump was still livid over the committee's presentation of new evidence surrounding the Capitol riot. He blasted out 8 more messages on his platform, railed against the proceedings.
Like an AR-15.
The Daily Beast needs to get their terminology right. You know, he blasted out 8 more truths. That's what they need to say. Quote, a one-sided, totally partisan political witch hunt, Trump exclaimed. I'm sure they felt so good writing this article. He then doubled down. One more sentence.
Real quick, back to your point.
Yeah.
Back to your point. The point you just made, where they're calling it messages. He blasted out 8 more messages.
Yeah.
Only now, instead of calling it like a tweet or something, calling it a truth. You truth something out. You post a truth. That actually, in this instance, in this context, is genius, and probably why he we have not seen a whole lot of like reporting on messages or truth on Truth Social, because then the outlet has to say he blasted out 8 more truths on his platform.
I think we might have made the point too at the time that Trump basically bought the word truth by doing this Truth Social thing. So as far as a business move, it's quite clever.
That was pretty genius, but Daily Beast is not falling for it.
No, that's the problem. You can't get these people to play along. One more sentence here in the article. He then doubled down on his support for the riot, writing, quote, the so-called rush on the Capitol was not caused by me. It was caused by a rig and stolen election, which is like, oh, okay, so you are admitting that that it was a riot. You're not denying, he's sort of agreeing that it was a riot.
He didn't call it a riot.
I know he didn't.
He said the so-called rush on the Capitol.
I know.
And so-called meaning somebody else called it that.
Right. But, it's still not denying it. But anyway.
Well, I think you mentioned this before the show, and I'll just say it now. I mean, the juxtaposition of CNN putting it in their protocols, thanks to Chris Litt, that tweets are not news, at least far right, far left tweets are not news, and backing off on, hey, somebody tweeted something as a breaking news story.
Right.
dailybeast.com, not quite on the same page, and so it goes so far in the opposite direction that now Trump's Truth Social is a source of news. I mean, it is giving the platform some a level of, I don't know about credibility,
it's
but
not
at least visibility.
But it's visibility. It's a source. It's a place where people can focus in on the love-hate relationship between the media and the Trump machine. It's a target.
Which Trump
Twitter.
Loves.
Yeah, Trump loves
that's Trump's whole strategy. That's how he does it. He
knows that they're going to make money.
All the attention on himself and moves it along, moves the story along.
Right. And I mean, as far as the business deal, the news focusing their attention on hate towards Truth Social, they know that they're going to get the clicks too. So he understands that, hey, I'm providing a service for you guys too by providing this platform that you guys can attack.
Always had there's a lot of criticism towards the media in that, like, oh, you just love Trump. You make so much money on Trump. You're Trump. You love him. I don't care how much you hate him. You love him. But it also goes both ways. I mean, Trump loves the heat. He loves the media talking about him, no matter if it's positive or negative. So it's really a symbiotic relationship. And that's something we got to keep in mind when, if you're getting all fired up about the media representing Trump in a way you don't appreciate, just remember he does appreciate it. It's all part of the strategy.
Yeah. One more quick note here as part of the whole Jan 6 thing. Oh no, I hit the paywall. Hold on, I thought I cleared
this over on Forbes.
Yeah, the Forbes story. Go ahead and tell it, and I'll.
Yeah, I got it here. The headline here over on Forbes: FBI arrests Michigan GOP gubernatorial candidate Ryan Kelley on January 6th. Related charges. The FBI arrested Michigan Republican gubernatorial candidate Ryan Kelley, one of 5 GOP candidates in the state, on misdemeanor charges related to the January 6th riot, according to a criminal complaint filed Thursday. And we got some key facts here. FBI agents raided Kelley's home near Grand Rapids, Michigan, and arrested Kelley, a real estate broker who was visible in videos taken at the Capitol on the day of the January 6th insurrection. The criminal complaint cites 4 charges. Whoa, I got it. They almost got me with a paywall for a second. That was crazy. Cites 4 charges, including disorderly and disruptive conduct in a restricted building or grounds, knowingly entered or remaining on restricted grounds without lawful authority, and knowingly engaging in any act of physical violence against person or property in any restricted building or grounds. Some of the same charges that have been filed against a host of alleged participants in the January 6 riots. The FBI did not immediately respond to a request for comment from Forbes, but FBI spokeswoman Mara Schneider confirmed the search and arrest to several outlets. Kelley is expected to appear in federal court later on Thursday, the Detroit News reported. Last June, the Michigan Democratic Party shared a video of Kelley in which he appeared to cheer on rioters at January 6, shouting, "Come on, let's go. This is it. This is war, baby." As protesters climbed the steps of the building.
Is that part of the quote? This is war, baby?
This is war, baby. Yeah. I mean, that's what got him. It sounds like that's the most compelling piece of evidence they have. Come on, let's go. This is it. This is war, baby. Which is hilarious and a great example of how sort of the frenetic madness of a crowd can take over. It's kind of like a Dean scream almost.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, this is war. Really? Is it war? Or are you just like really excited
You're
right
just
now?
really amped. You're the crowd got you going, and
yeah. There it is. Kelley has said he did not go inside the Capitol building, claiming in an interview with Michigan outlet MLive last year that he left, quotes, once things started getting crazy. You can imagine, hey, we've all been there, man. You're in a crowd, some exciting's happen, you yell, "Oh, this is war, baby!" And then you get up there and you realize things are a little crazier than you expected, and you just kind of moonwalk right out the door. The spokesperson for Kelley did not respond to requests for comment from Forbes.
Boring.
There you go. There's the important stuff. But interesting, though. I mean, he is a candidate for the governor of Michigan.
That's pretty gnarly that they'd go after him and arrest him.
Grab him. Yeah. There's an interesting, the gubernatorial race in Michigan is a really fascinating story going on right now. We're not going to touch on it at this moment. But there's a bunch of Republican candidates that got busted for faking signatures on their
right.
There was 10 Republicans set to run for governor, and then 5 of them got busted for faking signatures on their whatever you call it. What do you call it? I don't know. Doesn't matter. But so they cut it down. They cut the Republicans running down to 5 from 10, and then, arrest one on January 6 charges. Now you're down to 4. I'd be sweating if I was one of those 4 other Republican candidates.
Yeah.
Keep your nose clean, everybody.
Yeah, cleans. Keep them cleans.
Keep them cleans.
By the way, before the show, you and I, we were trying to figure out our times, the timestamp, or not the timestamp, but like the time of each
our
thing.
Timer.
And I said, hey, we should do a half hour. You said 20 minutes. We're right at a half hour. Look at that.
Look at that. I forgot to start mine. So right now, I'm going to start it, and we're going to move on to the next segment.
It's Friday. There we can keep playing with the Friday thing.
Yes.
You did it. Do more.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's Friday.
Give it to us.
It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday.
Yeah, no, I understand. Well, there you go. We can keep playing with the Friday thing.
Cause it's Friday. You ain't got no job. And you ain't got
It's Friday. It's Friday.
Wow. It's Friday. It's Friday. Let's do it. Let's do the show, Gonz. Do you have any cool updates? Anything we need to know? This is war, baby.
I'm just worried about our time thing. But Pomodoro is probably completely unsynced, just so you know. Because we're already on my clock. We're supposed to be at Flippy right now. So,
okay,
just to let you know.
Well, yeah, sure.
Okay, that's my thing.
You can't let the people in on our back end timers here.
Oh, I'm just trying.
They don't want to hear about that.
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm communicating with you as part of my update for today because there's not much else going on between.
That we're already off. Well, I don't really have anything else either. I gave the Kevins, the emus, a shower this morning. They loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've set up some rodent traps. I've got like a colony of 1,000 little gophers or something. I don't know, ground squirrels, gophers, meerkats. I have no idea what these things are, but they are eating everybody's food out there. And so I set up some rodent traps, the kind of the humane ones where it's like a bucket. And you put some bait up there and the little critter goes up and falls into the bucket and can't get out. Set one of those up. Checked them this morning. Did not catch a single gopher. Not
Gophers are a little smarter, maybe. They're like,
they're too smart.
Last guy tried this little trick on us. We lost Marvin, but not us.
Yeah, little prairie dogs. But I did catch a half a dozen little kangaroo mice-looking guys.
Ooh.
The little
expect the mice. I thought you were just a bunch
the
of
little
kangaroos.
cute mice. I'm catching a whole bunch of, but those prairie dogs, they're a little bit smarter than I thought.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
All right. And with that, we're going to thank some of our executive producers.
Executive producers.
That's right, folks. We're on the value for value model. No corporate money whatsoever. No ads, affiliate codes, partnerships, nothing. We are entirely funded by listeners like you. And when you when you support the show with your time, your talent, or your treasure, you become a producer, and that's why I've got to thank the producers. And if you're interested, there's still time in producing this episode. You can head on over to CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.
CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.
That's right. And our executive producers are producers who come in with their generosity and their responsibility to keep independent media truly independent, out of the clawy, scaly clutches of corporate advertising industry. And we do have one executive producer today, carrying a heavy burden for the rest of us, and that is executive producer Teresa Y.
Thank you, Teresa Y. She's like our own Mother Teresa.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Yeah, no, I got it. It took me a second. Sorry, it took me a second to catch up to what you were referring to. But yes, thank you very much, executive producer Teresa Y, making the show available for the rest of us. We're very happy to have you here. And we will read notes and thank more producers later on in the show. But for now, it's time to check in with perhaps the most important producer of this show, and that is Flippy the robot arm.
Well, let's make sure we give Teresa her due here.
Where'd you find this?
And now we can talk about the mechanical thing that is messing with us.
Nice.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right, folks. Whoa, excuse me. Time for the Flippy update. If you don't know, Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world. Now there's nothing we can do about it. Today, the Flippy update is coming from PowerEngineeringInt.com. Power Engineering International. Ooh. And the headline is Robot Arms to Protect Staff During Nuclear Waste Categorization. UK-based system integrator Delkia is working on a project with robotics company Kawasaki to develop and test software to control a robotic arm used in nuclear waste categorization. According to Delkia, operators currently dismantle equipment and manually sort contaminated materials while wearing PPE like gloves and air-fed suits. This means staff must work near potentially dangerous nuclear substances. The partners aim to use the project to enhance worker safety, ensuring maximum protection and from radioactive materials. Quote, having robot-led waste categorization processes in the nuclear industry is one way to ensure workers are kept safe from radioactive exposure, said Stuart Shane, UK marketing and sales manager at Kawasaki Robotics. Oh, good. We're getting it from the marketing and sales manager. Quote,
good stuff.
Manual management of nuclear waste is also costly and time-consuming, particularly in the current employment climate, where many industries must cope with labor shortages. I would love to see the numbers on the labor shortages on nuclear trash man, because that's basically what's going on here. They sift through, radioactive material. Separating out the radioactive from the non-radioactive material, which, look, in this job climate, when power is sort of being handed back to the worker and people are reassessing their lives, I don't know how much these guys get paid. I know the regular waste management guys, they get paid okay.
Is this up the ladder for them? Is there a career path for people?
You work your way up from neighborhood waste management professional to nuclear waste management.
Yeah, a guy driving truck. He's like, I've driven did the trash truck for 10 years. Time for me to move up to something bigger. Now you got these robot arms.
Yeah, well,
seems like a career path to me.
It's something, yeah. According to Shane, the nuclear industry is increasingly looking to machinery to perform the repetitive and often dangerous tasks associated with waste categorization. Quote, the final model will be able to sort and manage different categories of nuclear waste, making it safer and more cost-effective than current industry processes. We look forward to collaborations with the Delkia team, added Shane. The first step is to build the robot. No kidding. I mean, I'm no robotic professional. I am an enthusiast, and some might say I'm the premier robot critic in the world, but I'm no professional robot man.
Hey,
but I agree.
If we made an announcement that we're doing a podcast, would we ever get the kind of attention, get it in a magazine? Or an article, and then our comment is, the first step is to make the podcast, and then we will have a podcast. The first step in podcasting is recording a podcast. Yeah.
And much like robotics, the first step is to build the robot, after which Delkia will develop, integrate, and test the software. The software will control the movements, safety critical functions of the robot. Quote, we've been tasked with building and optimizing the system prior to active commissioning. I feel like somebody had a word count that they had to reach on this article. It's like, first we must build the robot, and we must build the robot before the robot is active and commissioned. This Mark Sisson.
They're really stretching out this idea. Multiple sentences.
This is interesting. Build-to-print contracts like these are great opportunities for us to combine our experience in software development and integration with Kawasaki's extensive technical input and accessible engineer support. This is important for us during the programming stage because if we need some guidance, it's immediately made available. First, we got to build the robot, and we got to build the robot before we can use the robot. And before we can use the robot, we got to call Kawasaki, and they got to tell us how to use and build the robot. So that's why we're really enjoying this. So good job, Delkia. But I thought this was fascinating. Admittedly, I think putting robots around nuclear waste is definitely safer for human beings, as objectively a lot of robot replacements. Some of them are safer, but you don't see FLIPPY, the burger flipping robot, being advertised as like it's going to save lives necessarily.
Right.
But it kind of, this had a bit of a vibe of like, there's going to be a lot more nuclear contaminated waste in the future. I mean, Russia, Ukraine, Putin was talking about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse and the destruction of a nuclear facility, and only the mutants at the bottom of a lake will survive. We're going to need these robots. It's got a very Wall-E feel, you know.
Yeah.
When the world is destroyed by the hubris of man, these cute little guys will go rolling around, and we'll be very grateful that they will separate. You know, they kept calling it nuclear waste, which, of course, you know, could be in regards to nuclear power plants and such, as if there's like enough of those to go around. But perhaps they're preparing because all of our waste will have radiation attached to it. You know, our candy bar wrappers, or perhaps even human waste will need to be handled by robots someday.
Yeah, I don't like what it portends with the theory that, you know, we're going to be around a lot more nuclear waste, and we better have those robots ready because, you know, we're going to need to really wade through all that. Because, especially with the Russia thing, if they do, or whoever, you know, shoots the nukes, you know, Uri Geller was saying that the aliens would stop it. Maybe the aliens don't show up on time. You know, it's a biblical thing. You know, the Prince of Persia in the book of Daniel. Yeah. Daniel waited like 3 weeks or something. It's like, what are you doing? He was battling another prince of the air there. But yeah, so they don't show up in time. The aliens don't make it. Sorry. Yeah, and a little collateral damage. Hey, but hey, look, you guys are advanced enough. We gave you the technology, you know, 100 years ago to make robots, and here you look at you. With the robot arms cleaning up all the mess you made with the nukes.
Taking care of yourselves there.
So
yeah.
It's all prepared.
You got to pair the nuclear waste categorization robots with the sewer surveillance.
Yes.
So you know who the first victim to having the radioactive.
I'm not looking forward to nuclear COVID. That variant is going to be nasty. Nasty.
Oh, it's coming. You know it's coming.
Super monkeypox tick.
Mm-hmm. Well, there is your Flippy update for the day, everybody.
Excellent. Go to CanaryCry.Party. Put it in your browser.
Do it.
Find the live stream, the clips channel, email list, text notifications, street team posters, show notes, ways to connect with other Canarians and become a producer.
Welcome to CanaryCry.Party. It's the place you wanna be. So say, welcome to CanaryCry. Gameplay, CanaryCry.Party.
You know it's true, folks, and you know what I'm going to say next. I'm going to say go check out Ravel. It's a podcast I do with Dr. Christopher Ryan Gates where we, we explore scripture, society, and scandal. We have tough conversations in good faith. You're really going to enjoy everything that's going on over there at Ravel. You can explore Ravel right there on CanaryCry.Party. You can play it straight from that menu. Go check it out. But if you're not into that, of course, you can find it on your podcast players. And I think you're really going to like it. There's 2 Ravels, but you know how to find the right one. You should also go ahead and go check out Canary Cry Clips on YouTube and Odyssey. That's right. Just type in Canary Cry Clips. You'll find it. It's got segmented videos from this show. You don't have to listen to the whole 4-hour show twice just to get some information. No, it's all segmented out by our beautiful and talented clip producers who are busy little bees. After every episode, they edit out every segment of this show and put it up individually on Canary Cry Clips. Go subscribe, watch those videos, share them. It's great. And if you want to make sure never to miss a live show, or just make sure you can get in contact with us whenever you want, you should join our text message alert system. And you do that by texting the word Canary to 877-740-3226. That is 877-740-3226. Just text Canary and you will join up, baby, automatically. You can also sign up for that on CanaryCry.Party as well. Go check it out.
I think the deer wearing Kevlar vests. Gun violence is an epidemic.
Are
Are you proposing taking away their guns?
Yes.
Enough prayers. Time for some action.
You want to take everyone's guns away.
Bingo. Enough prayers. Time for some action.
We're going to take your AR-15.
We're not going to give up. We'll find you.
That's right. Some gun control updates. The subject matter continues to evolve. I real quick wanted to bring everybody's attention. I thought this was a great exercise in media literacy here, especially news media literacy. Gonz, if you want to pop up that...
It's already there, brother.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool vibe. Well, if you... this popped up from The Hill, and they were reporting... on the Maryland mass shooting that was happening at the time. Well, when was this? I believe this was yesterday.
Yeah.
And the original headline, I am not seeing it. I must have a big delay. Oh, there it is. The original headline was "Multiple Victims Reported in Mass Shooting in Maryland Town." But it caught my eye immediately that mass shooting was in quotes, quotation marks. Which, when you're on a mainstream news outlet, as long as there's some modicum of sort of journalistic integrity, when something is in quotes like that, it means they are not making that claim. They are pulling it from someone else. And I thought to myself, strange. Why are they sort of hedging their bets on this using the term mass shooting? And of course, we know the official definition of mass shooting is a shooting in which 4 or more people are shot, casualties.
Is it 4 or 5?
I believe it's 4.
Okay.
4 or more who are hit during the event is a mass shooting. And I thought to myself, that is very strange. That is very strange that The Hill is hedging their bets, making sort of a point to put the term mass shooting in quotation marks. And, you know, I took a screenshot. I just wanted to keep an eye on it because usually as things evolve, you can get a little bit more information. Well, we did, because later on they updated the article. And the headline now is 3 dead, 1 critically injured in Maryland mass shooting. Mass shooting now, not in quotation marks. So I believe that they were holding off on taking the quotation marks off. They still wanted to use the term mass shooting because it's a good headline grabber, gets people all riled up. It continues the narrative of mass shootings. It was too early for them to confirm whether it was or it was not a mass shooting. But turns out 3 dead, 1 critically injured. That does officially confirm that it is a mass shooting, and they took off the quotation marks. Now, there's not a whole, I don't have a big rabbit hole, earth-shattering analysis, but I thought it was a great example. It was a good object lesson for everybody out there, because of course one of the main missions of this show is to help everybody get a grasp on news media literacy. What exactly are you looking at with the words they use, the punctuation they very specifically use in headlines and articles? And this was an example in the first version of the mass shooting in quotations, where at that moment, it was not a mass shooting. It wasn't that they could not confirm that it is a mass shooting, but they really wanted to put that in their headline. And so they used little quotation marks. And in this case, it did turn out to technically being a mass shooting. And so they edited it. But you could very easily read that headline, not pay attention to the quotation marks, and just go on being affected with an unconfirmed event. In this case, it did get confirmed, but it's just a wonderful little trick that they can use to hedge their bets, kind of release themselves from the liability or responsibility, and allows them to use a much more inflammatory headline than the facts currently show. And that's that. Now on to the important stuff. This is over here, KTLA mirrored on MSN. The headline is House passes sweeping gun package, the Protecting Our Kids Act in largely party line vote. Protecting Our Kids Act. Who wouldn't vote for the Protecting Our Kids Act, Gonz? It's a genius piece of
why not children? Why is it kids? Protect the Children Act.
Oh, that is an interesting idea. Yeah, kids is a little bit informal for a piece of legislation.
Yeah.
The House passed a sweeping gun package on Wednesday in response to last month's shooting in Buffalo, New York, and Uvalde, Texas, which killed more than 30 people and reignited the push for firearm legislation on Capitol Hill. And, real quick, I don't want to be too picky with this, Gonz, but 19 killed in Uvalde, or was it 21? I guess there's 19 kids. And
19 kids, yeah.
19 kids to adults, 10 in Buffalo. So, yeah, okay. It was 31 people.
Yeah.
And which I guess technically,
more than 30.
Yes, technically is more than 30. So, there you go.
They wanted 33. They want the 33 thing, but it didn't quite get there. So they'll just say over, more than 30.
Yeah.
So keep it ambiguous.
If you say more than 30,
it could be 33,
right. It could be. But we do know the exact number. Why not just say 31? No. But okay. The package, dubbed the Protecting Our Kids Act, passed in a 223 to 223 to 204 vote. One Republican did not vote. Ooh, weird. Two Democrats, Representative Jared Golden in Maine and Kurt Schrader in Oregon, bucked the party in opposing the measure. 5 Republicans, Representatives Adam Kissinger, Anthony Gonzalez, Brian Fitzpatrick, Chris Jacobs, and Fred Upton, supported it. And this is interesting. We need a little bit more details, but they're saying 2 Democrats bucked the party in opposing the measure. So so you had Democrats opposing the Protecting Our Kids Act. They don't want to protect it. But we had 5 Republicans cross the lines and supported it. The legislation consists of 7 separate provisions aimed at addressing gun violence in America. The House voted on the individual provisions separately. Aimed at addressing gun violence. The House voted on the individual provisions separately, all of which cleared the chamber in mainly party line votes. The overall package, however, is the only legislation that will be sent to the Senate for consideration, where it faces GOP opposition.
Horrible GOP people trying to destroy our country.
They don't want to protect their kids. A bipartisan group of senators have been engaged in their own negotiations to come to a consensus on the narrower gun legislation. And it goes into Trump. Oh, no, they just put a little ad right there in the middle of this.
It makes it look like it's part of the paragraph.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The House package would raise the minimum age for buying a semi-automatic weapon from 18 to 21, prohibit civilian use of ammunition magazines with more than 15 rounds, that's a problem, and enact new federal criminal offenses for gun trafficking and straw purchases of firearms when an individual who is unable to pass a background check buys a gun through a proxy. It also seeks to require that ghost guns, firearms that are untraceable and do not have serial numbers, undergo background checks and receive serial numbers. Sure. Cool. You're going to 3D print a gun at home, folks. It's now the law.
You better let the government know or
follow the law. Impose a ban on bump stocks for civilians and bolster storage of guns in homes where minors may have access to the firearm. Additionally, the package compels the Attorney General to submit a report to congressional committees on the individuals who were deemed ineligible to purchase a firearm by a background check. This is a weird one. The Attorney General has to submit a report to Congress on those who didn't pass the background check.
Are they worthy enough to be another one of our controlled children.
But why? Yeah, why?
Well, they need to.
Why, if you fail a background check and you try to purchase a gun, do they have to send it to Congress?
Because they
What is
need
Congress going to do about it? They're not a law enforcement organization.
Well, I mean, they got to influence the laws to prevent these people
It's
or something.
Weird. It is a really mysterious part of it and really sus to me. Passage of the legislation comes just over 2 weeks after a shooter. Yep. America is in the midst of a shocking gun violence epidemic. Yeah, weird. It just kind of starts happening out of nowhere on a election year. And it just kind of keeps going. Bunch of quotes from everybody. Nancy Pelosi gets in there.
Jim
jumps
Jordan.
down here. Yeah. Most Republicans, however, were not on board with the overall package. In a memo to House GOP lawmakers on Tuesday, Minority Whip Steve Scalisi's office recommended that members of the conference vote against the legislation, arguing that the measure egregiously violates law-abiding citizens' Second Amendment rights and hinders Americans' ability to defend and protect themselves and their families. On the House floor on Wednesday, Representative Jim Jordan, the ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, reiterated that stance. And then there's 2 paragraphs of him reiterating the exact thing we just read. Some Republicans have called for measures to increase school security and et cetera, et cetera. Republicans bad. So there's some things in there that are actually quite problematic. Some things that are kind of useless, some things that are pretty problematic. Now, this was just the House vote, which, look, God bless our representatives, but the House is the House is where the theater happens. The House is kind of a virtue signal by the lizard people. When things pass the House, people get excited that a step has been made, that the government is making progress, that they're taking an issue seriously. And if it passes the House, they get to throw up some confetti and say we're doing something. And usually things die on the vine at the Senate. This, of course, for legislation to pass, it has to pass in both houses. And analysis after analysis of this that I've read, nobody is taking seriously the idea that this will pass the Senate. The makeup of the Senate right now generally would not have the votes to pass this into law. And the Senate is a little bit more on the receiving end of the benefits to our politicians that are provided by lobbying groups. So, if you consider the gun lobby a very powerful lobby with a lot of money to make a lot of things happen, most of the senators, especially Republican senators in this case, are going to be on the take. And some Democrats, by the way. I believe Manchin is a big gun lobby guy, and possibly Sinema as well. So, it is one of these things where it is passing the House will inflame the situation. I've already started getting all the emails from the firearm newsletter people telling, trying to get my money. If I don't make a $100 donation, then
if you don't give money, then you're going to lose your guns, man. This is how this works.
I got to donate to the cause, or else the Senate is going to take away my guns. As it stands now, unless there's some sort of upset or error, oh my gosh, would it be surprising if this passed the Senate? But, weirder things have happened in the past couple of years, Gonz.
Well, they're going to try to spin up a few more of these probably leading into... it feels like they already had the big one. I think Uvalde, right? Yeah. Uvalde was sort of the pinnacle of creating that conversation. So, because obviously they got to the House here. But yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, it was the kickoff.
Yeah. Did you shut yourself off there on video?
Yeah, sorry. Hold on. I'm having some issues.
Sure.
Here.
It just covers up half the screen. So,
I'm sorry. I'll be back in a second.
Okay. Well, let's move on.
Speaking of the beast system, beast system.
We were going to bring this to you last episode, but we ran out of time, so we're going to do it now. This is a headline from Wired.com, And it is goes like this. Apple just killed the password for real this time. Oh, for real. Okay. Here's what the article says. Your passwords are terrible. Year after year, the most popular passwords leaked in data breaches are 123456, 123456789, and 12345. QWERTY and password come close behind, and using these weak passwords leaves you vulnerable to all sorts of hacking. Weak and repeated passwords are one of the most significant risks to your online life. For years, we've been promised a more secure, password-free future, but it seems like 2022 will actually be the year that millions of people start to move away from passwords. At Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference yesterday, the company announced it will launch passwordless logins across Macs, iPhones, iPads, and Apple TVs around September of this year. Instead of using passwords, you will be able to log into websites and apps using passkeys. Oh, are we going crypto here? With iOS 16 and macOS Ventura. It's the first major real-world shift to password elimination. How does it work? Passkeys replace your tired old passwords by creating new digital keys using Touch ID or Face ID. Apple's Vice President of Internet Technologies, Darren Adler, explained at WWDC.
Yeah, and I can save us some time on this, but the main focus of this whole thing is, it's the same beast system strategy, the same technocratic strategy that we have seen replayed over and over and over. And what they're doing is getting rid of the very concept of a password, where you won't need to create a password, you won't need to remember a password, you won't need to forget your password.
But how do we verify? How do we verify ourselves? What do we do?
Subsequently reset your password. No. Instead, they have been developing. A lot of companies have been developing this. Google's been working on it since 2008. Apple and who else? A lot of companies have been working on this. But the long story short is, no, passwords, they're gone. They're going to be gone forever. And why would you even need a password if you could just read your thumbprint, your Touch ID, or your Face ID? Get your nice little, 3D digital scan of your face, get it in the facial recognition database. And there you go. We're making life easier on you, baby. It's going to be safer. It's going to be easier to...
How many people have your face? Mm-hmm. Only you are unique. You're a unique creation of God, and we will leverage that in our technology so nobody else can breach.
And here's the thing. You might be thinking, what's the big deal? Like, I already can sign into stuff with my Face ID and my fingerprint. I mean, hopefully, if you're listening to this show, or if you've been listening to it for long enough, you will not have fallen into that little trap there.
I have not used mine. I still don't use it.
Yeah, and so hopefully you haven't given your very precious biometric data to some company who is not beholden or cares about you whatsoever. And in fact, biometric data has been one of the most valuable forms of data to be sold, not just in the legitimate data markets, but also the black markets. On the dark web, baby. But here you go. Now they're moving into a period where they will be phasing out the very idea of a password forever and for good. Like, it won't even be an option. It's going now. It's not going to.
That's the part that bothers me. Is like, at least leave the option. I know they're going to make it very inconvenient or whatever to try to encourage you to go, with the biometric side. But just leave us. Leave us. What are we, Gen? What is it?
We're millennials.
Millennials. Leave us millennials with our key punching passwords.
Passwords, they're so retro, man. They're cool. They're
the
like
generation
bell
that holds on to actual typey passwords.
Yeah. And so they're actually releasing this update this year, later this year.
Yeah, that's a problem.
But I will say they go on to say, it's still sort of a phasing strategy. It's not like we're going to lose the ability to have or use any password in September, but it is sort of the official launch. It is the official beginning of the end of the password this September, if it ends up coming out.
And part of the whole idea of collecting data on every individual, that's part of the, it was written in the United Nations Agenda 2030 thing. They want every born citizen of the world to have identification. That's what they said as part of their thing. And I think it connects to what we just talked about with gun control, because, one of the things of the 7 things that they were talking about in the bill was to be able to track every gun. I think here, let me pull up the bill here. I think it's like number 6 or 7 or something, or 4 maybe. Number 3. Sorry, number 3. Requirements that all firearms be traceable. Modernization of the prohibition of undetectable firearms. So literally, they're the surveillance apparatus, fired up, pun intended, as part of the restructuring of everything. And if you have IDs, these biological IDs of all the people, then it's almost like before you had to get a fingerprint at the police station. You got to get the little ink pad and they got it on file. Now the tech company just has a record of your biometric, and you can they easily look up if if they find a fingerprint on a gun or something that's unregistered.
Well, and it's not even the gun that's that's the smallest part. I mean,
no, I know.
The
I'm just
people,
giving an example.
The sort of skeptical, they already have your driver's license. Okay, we get it. Yes, if you live in society, you probably have some sort of data, biometric data that's been collected by somebody.
Yeah.
But the point is not, the government has your fingerprint, or the government has your Face ID. The point is that when big data companies, Silicon Valley, who are not held responsible by, a democratic republic government with at least some sort of facade of accountability and restrictions, when it's a big tech company, especially if they have headquarters overseas, they can do whatever they want with the biometrics. And it's not so much they can connect your driver's license to your gun permit or something via your biometric data. It's, you used your biometric data to sign into Facebook. So now they can connect not just your government records, but they can connect it with all of your Facebook data, every web page that you visit. If you use your biometrics to sign into your Google account, boom, every email you've ever sent and received can easily be connected to your government profile. Can they do this already? Yes, they can. But if you've followed any of the privacy lawsuits, you can see very clearly, at least what's been shown in Discovery and other investigative sort of journalistic pursuits, is that it's very easily fightable. Because if it's a password, somebody else could have your password. It's not really proof that it is actually physically you doing something. So what it really is doing is it's almost like the same threat that some organizations feel about blockchain, which is, once a piece of data is entered, it can never be erased, and it's verified over and over again, and it's sort of the closest thing that you can get to digital truth with a capital T. But now, every time you open your phone, every time you connect to any service or account or anything, connecting that directly to a verifiable face scan is going to go a long way to increasing the power, not only of, Silicon Valley, big tech, which we've gone through the analysis of how big data is the new oil. Data is the most important asset or commodity that a nation state can control at this point. And we've seen really very sort of intense geopolitical sort of fiery battles to control data over anything else. Maybe not battles like the types of battles we have for oil, but legal battles for sure. And, the idea that this can be verified, connected to every little piece of information via biometrics is going to increase the value of that data. This is just how the industry works. If the data can be verified via biometrics, that increases the value of that data, which then feeds into sort of the evil monstrosity of the data, big data industry, which is really playing a huge part in forming and shaping what the technocratic future looks like, even on a geopolitical level. Now, Apple is generally one of the more responsible companies when it comes to data. After they kind of got busted almost a decade ago now, approaching a decade, I guess, they really changed their tone on handling a lot of data. They've done a lot of good stuff, mainly locking out their competitors from your data, like Facebook and Google. If you're using Apple infrastructure, your data pretty much just stays with Apple. And a lot of their encryption stuff is actually pretty good, and Apple can't even see a lot of your messages. But, that's just out of the kindness of their hearts. No, I'm just kidding. It's marketing. It's marketing, and it's in order to draw as many privacy-minded users as possible into the company. And the fact is that they can turn on a dime at any moment and just undo a lot of that stuff.
I was going to say, they're like the perfect Trojan horse in that regard. They have that reputation of being very good with people's privacy and their data. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm not more concerned, but another concern, not just the data collection and the immutability of that data associated with your biometrics. I don't know. It still can be manipulated, I guess, if it's within a centralized type of thing. Somebody can add something in the back end and be like, it's just associate all these websites with this guy's biometrics. So I don't see how it's like any better. Even in terms of privacy, and that's kind of the point, is like it's not better at all. It's significantly worse. It's worse. and accessibility is another thing. With passwords, you can sort of, even if you're locked out, you can kind of still log into something anonymously, or
if you need your family to like do something, check your email or whatever. I don't know.
Right. You can, you can kind of figure out a way around it. But if it's biometrics and that's the only way you can get in, you're giving more gatekeeping power to Apple. And you have to comply with whatever thing they have in order to access your account. I don't like that. I'd rather be able to have my own sovereignty over my account access, So anyway,
and I love it because it's all done in the name of convenience. It's convenience and safety.
Well, they got no new tricks.
And it's funny because that's, another thing we complain about all the time is the advertising industry. And when it comes to the juxtaposition between the value for value model, where you actually have to take responsibility and personally put value back into a system that brings value to your life, or the OG advertising model where, it's so easy, man. I don't got to think about it. My favorite independent news analysis and deconstruction podcasts, they can just get paid on the back end by advertisers. I don't want to be responsible for that. It's all convenience, folks. And that's what the beast system is all based on. That's how they trick you into it, baby. And we'll talk a little bit more about it right now in our break.
It's break time! Come on, take a break.
That's right. We're just taking a quick break, folks, but don't go anywhere because after the break, we got a great COVID segment and ticks segment. Checking in with the ticks. Big things are happening with the ticks and the COVIDs, folks. So don't go anywhere after the break. Those of you who are on YouTube, you'll need to jump over to another outlet. So just prepare for that. But first, I want to remind everybody about the value for value model. No, it may not be the most convenient way to support your independent news analysis and deconstruction. It may not be the way that we grew up in taking media, where news media as well as entertainment media was all funded on the back end, had nothing to do with the viewer. We just got to sit back and be spoon-fed whatever the corporations decided was worth existing. But no longer. That model is not only is it in our opinion, seems like at the very least, an interesting analog to the very concept of giving up your freedom, giving up the things that you value for an easy and inexpensive life. But with the value for value model, it's very simple. I don't know if you know this, but the way it works is we create value. We do it 3 times a week. And if you get any value out of this show, no matter what it is, if it's, news, analysis, education, humor, entertainment, community, whatever the case may be, that value can only continue with the participation of our producers in the value for value model. And who are the producers? They're you. They're you, dear listener. All you got to do is take a moment and decide that you will raise a rebel fist in the air against the lizard people's advertising industry, where they incentivize creators like Gonz and I to think of you and your brain, dear listener, perhaps even your heart and your soul, as a commodity to be bundled up and amassed in larger and larger numbers and shipped off to advertising corporations for our own personal gain. And what do they do what do they do with it? Well, they use it to subtly, psychologically manipulate you into spending money you don't have on things you don't need. And that's not something that's good for anybody nowadays. But the value for value model is a way for all of us to take responsibility for the future of independent media. And if you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, you'll get it someday, but hopefully it's just not too late. So for those of you who want to put value back into the system, you believe in the cause, you believe in the show, you believe in the concept of independent media maintaining actual independence and not being subtly shifted by the corporate profit motive or the corporate interests and corporate money. Keep corporate money out of independent media is what I'm saying. Head on over to CanaryCry.Radio.com/support. CanaryCry.Radio.com/support. That's right, CanaryCry.Radio.com/support. Lots of great ways to support the show over there. If you're a cryptocurrency person, you can see all of our public wallets. You can support the show on a monthly basis. If you want to commit to keeping the show going, you can sign up for the supply drop, which will get you even more value in return for adding value to the system. But if commitment is not your thing, you can make a one-time producership in any amount. And Gonz, are you ready to thank our executive producer for the day? Ready. Okay, let's do it.
We're doing it. Okay, here we go.
Executive producers.
That's right. Our executive producers are those producers who are they're taking the lead. They're brave war heroes.
You know the thing
against the battle of the advertising mind control. They realize the value for value model is the only way to sustain true independent media, and they carry a heavy load for not just us, but for you, dear listener. They are benefiting you possibly more than anyone else. And so we like to thank them here. And today's executive producer, just one today, and that is executive producer Teresa Y.
Thank you, Teresa Y. Very generous.
Indeed.
Amazing.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Teresa Y. Comes in with a nice flat number there, which is a good time to remind everybody. If you would like us to not read the number, we always lean in the direction of anonymity. And if you'd like to keep the amount anonymous, just make it a nice flat round number. And that's an easy way for us to know that you don't want us to share it. If you don't mind us sharing it, add a funky number in there. You know, some people add 33 cents or whatever. You know, think of one yourself. 1001 is another popular one. Whatever the case may be, that's how we know that you're okay with us reading it. But Teresa Y coming in and has a note here that says, God bless. Happy Friday.
It's
Boom.
Friday. It's Friday.
Short and sweet. Short and sweet. I love it.
Love it.
Anything to say to our wonderful Teresa Y, guys?
Where'd you find this?
Where did you find this, Teresa?
Where'd we find this, Teresa Y? Thank you,
Thank
Teresa.
you so much.
Executive producer Teresa Y.
EP.
Let's hit that supply drop button real quick.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. Getting louder.
Supply drop.
That's right. CanaryCry.Supply.Drop.com. Go there. CanaryCry.Supply.Drop.com. It's easy. It's fast. It's a wonderful way to receive even more value for your participation in the value for value model for $33.33 a month. That's $2.77 per episode. That's like 80 cents per hour. It's a great deal. So not only are you producing the show and all the honor and respect that comes with that, but you'll also receive 4 shipments a year, once a quarter, for making custom producer-produced, artist-designed, made in America, Canary Cry News Talk, cool stuff. And we'll send it straight to you just for being a producer. So go check that out, and we're all waiting for the supply drop, baby.
Yeah, and before we go, waiting for the supply drop, just want to say that the NFTs are pretty much ready to go. The tutorial to get your address is ready to go, so we'll probably do it. I don't know, maybe I was going to talk to you about it, Basil, how we can get that out there, because it's all ready to go. Our test subjects.
Well, the supply droppers are the ones who get the NFT, and
Yes.
They will just receive an email. We have a list of their emails.
Perfect. Great. So we'll send them out, and you guys can hop on and get that Ethereum address to us, and we will send you the Canary Cry supply drop NFT. So there you go.
Yeah,
Boom.
it's good times. Good times.
There
For
we
free,
go.
by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, we got a few more producers to thank,
Hold
and
on.
let's.
Hold on. Let's wrap it up.
Wow.
We got a form here we have to keep.
Okay, we got some producers to thank. Are you ready, Gonz?
We're ready to go.
Yeah, this was nice. It was a nice handful of producers here. It was kind of weird. Last episode, we only had 4 producers in sort of the normal producer range, which is between $7.77 and executive producer. And people realized that was, it's just a shame. And so they came in and produced the show, and we're very, very grateful for that. Starting with producer Dame Sarah of the Shadows.
Ooh, thank you. Dame Sarah of the Shadows. Good to see you.
Thank you very much, Dame Sarah of the Shadows. And let's see here. Dame Sarah of the Shadows. Ooh, this is weird, man. See, when you come in on the Linktree, I don't understand the
the numbers.
The fees are different. So, like, I don't know if we're supposed to read it or not. I don't know. I'm going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it. We should always lean in anonymity, I guess. This is difficult. Send in a note, folks, when you come in through the Linktree, because that will be the only way that we know what's going on. And I believe, I'm sorry. I'm kind of slowing down here for a second because I want to get this right. I'm checking if there's a note. There's no note. So I have no idea. Thank you very much, Dame Sarah of the Shadows. And why is she Dame? It's because she's part of the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames.
That's right.
We haven't mentioned it in an episode or two, but when you hear Dame or Sir in front of somebody's name, it's because they've given $1,000 or more through the value for value model, either all at once or over time, and they're given a very special place of honor. And Dame Sarah of the Shadows is one of those.
Thank you very much, Dame Sarah.
Women rule!
Next up, we got another Dame, Dame Lady Night Little Wing coming in.
Dame Little Night, the Dame Lady Night Little Wing. Sorry,
yes, Dame Lady Night Little Wing. Thank you very much. And that was another nice round number. We appreciate that. Next up, we got producer Dustin B.
Dustin B.
Yeah. Dustin B coming in, and you guessed it, through the LINKTREE. Everybody loves the LINKTREE, apparently. But I think we're gonna do this. I think Dustin B came in for $42.
Ooh.
Or $43.16. One of those.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you very much, producer Dustin B.
Someone's getting that $1.16 somewhere.
Somebody is. I know. Everybody's got to get a taste, don't they? Next up, we got Runk Smash is back.
Hey, Runk Smash.
Yeah, thank you very much, Runk Smash. Runk Smash comes in with another. He comes in with $35. And it's because of this note. Hey, everyone. I've done another lap around the sun, which means I'm now 35. B&G, please hit me with a happy birthday jingle.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Runk Smash.
Thank you, Runk Smash. Happy birthday, Runk Smash.
Around the sun. What are you, a glober?
He's a round sunner.
No, the flat Earth just spun in place 35 times.
Pop. Next, the note continues. And if at all possible, a medley of the choicest jingles topped with a Dean scream. You want to put together a little happy birthday buffet for Runk Smash here?
The choicest. Are you getting? Did your video die, or are you getting rid of yourself?
Just don't pay attention to me. Do the Runk Smash thing.
It covers half.
Sometimes I turn off my video because I got to do something.
Okay, well, let's see.
I do it all the time.
Okay, well, here we go.
How dare you?
A new world order. I tried to tell you.
It's Cuomo prime time. I do it with everyone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very nice. Cuomo prime time. Oh, I miss Cuomo prime time.
Always a good one to pull out when people request jingles and we haven't heard it in a while.
Do you have a propaganda rooster sitting around somewhere?
Propaganda rooster. Oh, yeah.
Only if it's, yeah.
I did have it. Hold on. I have to go to another thing.
That's okay if it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Just thought Runk Smash would like a little propaganda rooster too. And my soundboard is not working, folks.
We
didn't mention it. Yeah, I've about 95% fixed all of the issues that we were having last episode. But the method with which I needed to fix everything destroyed my soundboard, so I have to rebuild it. We will rebuild better, stronger, faster.
Okay, for Runk Smash.
Propaganda rooster.
That's nice. Thank you, Runk Smash.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Next up, we've got producer Stephen D. Stephen D. Coming in for 33 and 33 in fees. Illuminatus. Yeah. And a note here, cheers to today being the last day I'm 33.
Hey,
got another happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Wow, double birthday.
Happy birthday to
Yeah, happy birthday, Stephen D. Last day I'm 33. Fortunately, it didn't end up as a news source Illuminati signal. Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, you're right. Love you guys and thankful to all the help you've been to me and anyone listening. Thank you, Stephen D.
Thank you, Stephen D.
And one last time, happy birthday.
I said B, but D. Stephen D. I was looking for Steven, but I can't find it. It's okay. That's an old one. Thank you very much. Hey, was Rock Smash on a streak at all?
Nope.
No? Okay. Just wanted to double check.
Next up, we've got producer Arnold W.
Hey, Arnold. He's back.
And Arnold W. comes in for $33.33 in fees.
Oh.
Yes. Fun, huh?
Is there a note?
Thank you very much, Arnold W. Didn't see a note from him, but nice to see him back.
Yeah, good to see you. Thank you very much.
Next up, we got producer Morv.
Yeah, Morv.
And Morv is on a 101 episode streak.
Thank you so much.
101.
And Morv came in for, it was a total of 2319. Oh, 2319. Maybe that's
is that a reference to something?
Yeah, 2319. That's the Monsters Inc. code for, a child has made it through the portal.
Oh, great. Yeah, that weird quasi child
the note says,
movie.
hope everyone has a great weekend. Psalm 46, 10 through 11. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Thank you very much, producer Morv.
Thank you, Morv. Yeah, that passage, I always cringed when people used it in a sense of like, oh, you must be calm. And wait for the Lord to speak to you. Because in the context of that passage, I think that's the passage. I got to double check it. But it's talking about the enemies of God being still. Like God basically saying, like, stop, be still.
Oh, interesting.
I am God. Like he's sort of rebuking the enemies, which is which has been used instead as like, be still and quiet your mind and let God speak to you.
Oh, right.
So it's an interesting way.
It's more of a shut your mouth.
Right.
Shut your mouth. I'm bigger and stronger than you.
Yes. So that's always fun to point that out. But yeah, thank you very much, Morph.
Love it. Thank you, Morph. Next up, we got producer James M. coming in for 1111.
Thank you, James M. Feels like
James M.
It's on a streak too, but maybe not, huh?
He was no longer. Next up, we got producer Sandra K coming in with 1179 recurring on the Patreon.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah,
that's very nice. That's a Tower of Babel amount.
Yeah. Oh, here's a little update. Gonz, I forgot to tell you this. I figured this out right before the show. Patreon is currently holding back our payment from last month.
Oh, why?
So we've got some things to work on. I don't know. We got to address it afterwards.
Did we say something about COVID or gun control or something?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It seems to be some sort of formality. However, I don't know why it would come out of nowhere right now. So I don't know. It's a little sussy.
Yeah, our time with Patreon might be coming to an end.
Might be slowing down, yeah. All right, thank you very much, Sandra K. Next up, we've got Sir JC, Night of the Techno Squatch on 113 episode streak.
Thank you so much.
1001.
1001. Amen.
Right, the 1001 says, Happy Wednesday, dogs. This is not the right. This is not the right note.
This either came in real late or the note was not
here's
updated.
the right note.
Okay.
I got it. I'm thinking that those GMO mosquitoes are really hitting their stride this summer. My legs are absolutely lit up. Oh, God, why do these demon bugs exist? Anyway, happy Friday, Canarium.
More on that later, by the way.
Yeah, we got a great mosquito story coming up.
We might be helping out Sir JC and others who are suffering from the mosquito attack.
Yeah. Stay tuned for the mosquito stories. Thank you very much, Sir JC. Night of the Techno Squatch. Next up, we've got producer bot LX Protocol V2 coming in with a pocket full of sevens and fees, and he's on a 42 episode streak.
Carry this message to Hiram a bit.
That's right. He's the answer. We got a couple more people coming in here. Did I already thank producer Amanda M?
Amanda M.
I don't think I did. Thank you very much, producer Amanda M.
Thank you,
coming
Amanda.
in for their 33 in fees.
Oh, there you go. Illuminati status.
Illuminatus. Okay, there we go. And that concludes our list of producers who came in the amount of $7.77 or more, which entitles them to have a note read on the show. But we got a few more people coming in under that amount that we will thank now.
Okay.
Starting with Jonathan F.
Jonathan F.
Jonathan F. is on a 5-episode streak.
Okay.
Next up, we've got Michael M.
Michael M. Thank you very much.
Very much, Michael M. Then we got Darren S. on a 5-episode streak.
Darren S. Thank you very much.
We got the Streak Sisters, Veronica D. and Gail M. on a 131-episode streak.
Okay, we'll do it up here.
Thank you so much. Women rule.
There you go.
Right. True. Next up, we've got Sir Scott Knight of Truth on a 156-episode streak.
Yes, they call him the street. Fastest thing on 2 feet.
Thank you very much.
Then, of course, we got Sir
Scott.
Casey the Shield Knight.
Oh, yeah.
On a 166-episode streak, baby.
What?
Fastest thing on 2 feet.
Whoa.
166, did we plan on anything, or did we? No, we did not.
No, we're doing 177.
177, that's right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Whew.
Let's see here. I think that's all of them right now. I was trying to see if one came in for Sir James, Knight and Servant of the Lion of Judah. Let's just go ahead and give Sir James, Knight and Servant of the Lion of Judah 98 episodes in a row.
98?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that.
Yeah. Well, Sir James, I mean, he's so faithful. But I don't know if he's coming for this episode, but he's at 97 episodes in a streak. And he's at 98 now.
We were praying for him last episode, right?
We're praying for him last episode. Things are tough. He
Yeah.
executive produced last episode. And if, I don't think he did it on purpose. So we're going to give him a little bit of a break. We'll square up, but yeah, we'll give this one to him until we know more. So there you go. Thank you very much, Sir James, Knight and Servant of the Lion of Judah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that concludes all of our financial producers.
Okay.
Thank you all very much. And again, really, this is impossible without you. And remember, you're not just returning value to Gonz and I, but you are also playing a part in making the show available for the innumerable listeners across the world. So if you're listening, chilling, enjoying the show, remember, it's these producers who are making it possible for you.
Right.
So say a little prayer for all of them.
Yep.
Shut up and take my money. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your patronage.
Please leave a message after the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message.
Message.
That's right. Go to CanaryCry.Newstalk.com. Go click on the green tab. It'll be on the bottom or the side. Click on that, and you can leave us a voice message. You're giving us permission to play it, but it's not guaranteed. Gonz, who has left us a message?
We got one message today from Rochelle.
Happy Friday, Canarians. I just want to thank you, Team Canary, for all the wonderful content and comedy and companionship I found here. And I just wanted to bring a scripture I hope brings you some joy. Right now, I feel like God's people are feeling the heat. But remember who you are and what our Creator did for us. This is John 6:37. Maybe 35. Start reading at 6:35. Those the Father has given me will come to me, and I will never reject them. Abba gave me to the Son. Upon the cross my soul he won. His protection, no rejection. We're a part of the election. Remember, guys, stay strong for Jesus. Have a great weekend.
Thank you very much. Love it.
Amen.
Great stuff. I love these breaks with when Rochelle comes in. Very helps reset. Kind of after all the crazy news stuff. Yeah, it's good. Good little break.
Just one message. That was it.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I say we wake on up, Gonz. Keep the train a moving here. Those of you who are on YouTube, what comes next is too hot for YouTube, so you must go to CanaryCry.Party. Find another outlet to watch or listen to the show.
Yes,
Let's go.
Wake up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
Okay,
it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure?
Go Twitch, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is. You can find all those links at CanaryCry.Party as well.
too hot for YouTube.
YouTube.
Now you see me. Now you don't.
COVID.
It's Corona time. COVID-19. 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 Yes. COVID-19. COVID-19.
Vaccine. Number one way.
All right. We got some interesting COVID news. A couple different things. I was going to do this in a different order, but let's just mention this first from The Hill. This is trending. It broke today. Biden officials ending international travel COVID testing requirements. It's over, Basil. We're done. We have defeated COVID.
Oh, you switched it around. Yeah, I was going to... Okay.
Let me just mention that. There's not... I mean...
Well,
it's
there was
more
a
of an
little bit in
announcement.
there, actually.
There's
a little bit in there.
All
yeah.
Right. If you want to dig in.
Why don't you do yours first?
All right, okay.
We'll build off of it.
All right. Now I was getting excited about that. But okay,
so
let's do mine. abcnews.com. Breakthrough COVID-19 cases. I thought we're just deaths on the rise amid push for boosters. ABC News analysis. ABC News is doing their own analysis, which is great.
Yeah, right. Which they've done in the past, which is really funny. We've kind of been following ABC News's, they do their own analysis of other people's analysis, which is really funny. But I think there's it speaks to something strange that the headline says, deaths on the rise amid push for boosters. And you're like, of course they're trying to say there's a lot of deaths, so let's push for boosters. But the phrase deaths on the rise amid push for boosters is kind of like, okay, what is causing what? I'm just saying, what's causing what? There's a push for boosters and deaths are on the rise. It's cool. Cool, ABC.
In the early months of the COVID-19 vaccine rollout, breakthrough cases among fully vaccinated people were a statistical anomaly. Preliminary clinical trial data offered an optimistic outlook for the months ahead, with many Americans hoping a vaccine would be their ticket to a return to normalcy. However, last summer, when the highly infectious Delta variant became dominant, the number of people experiencing a breakthrough infection began to grow, and those totals only increased with the Omicron surge, because we didn't have any info that would indicate that this would happen, even though Israel had all the data that would indicate this would happen.
Well, I love that. Again, I love that the way they put that. They how it increased. What did they say? What was the? Let's see here. The totals increased with the Omicron surge. It's like, yeah, they're not gonna decrease. Totals don't decrease. unless they counted wrong in the first place, and then somebody goes back and audits them, and so they make the totals less, which literally did happen more than once with the CDC. They suddenly decreased the totals of deaths because of funky data.
Better data, I guess. Yeah.
But yes, no, totals don't decrease. Total deaths don't decrease. Just in objective reality. So, the totals only.
I mean,
increase.
Maybe they left out, time periods. You can have a total per, 6-month period or quarterly or something like that. But yeah, just in general, a total doesn't go down. But you're right. Now, with the majority of the country vaccinated and immunity gradually waning over time, one scarce breakthrough infections, which the Center for Disease Control and Prevention define as a fully vaccinated person gets infected with COVID-19, have become a regular occurrence associated with the pandemic. As a result, the notion early on that vaccination could be relied upon to prevent all coronavirus infection has been somewhat eroded.
That's hilarious.
But vaccines have remained largely highly protective against severe illness and death. That's the company line. But here's what's interesting. That sentence right there. The notion early on that vaccines could be relied upon to prevent all coronavirus infections. Just the notion, not the fact. Because it was never a fact. But notion,
also the declaration by the president and Fauci and every single news model
media,
that you will not die, you will not get sick if you get the vaccination. And if you say or think otherwise, that is malinformation and you are a terrorist for saying so. But no. Now it's just a notion. It's just like a
the notion
twinkling
eroding
in the eye of the scientists.
Right. And the notion eroding that has no consequence. Like, I don't know. It's just weird to be like, instead of saying we're wrong, it's like, no, the notion that was out there early on has eroded. Yeah. Like, no,
there's
you guys
saving
were wrong.
Face. Yeah, you lied. It's not even that you were wrong. You just lied.
Yeah. Experts also say the sheer volume of cases now puts even the vaccinated who are vulnerable in danger and underscores the urgency of people both getting their primary series and boosters. An ABC News analysis of data collected by the CDC. What? Did you have something on the last sentence?
Yeah, I mean, they're just literally saying the opposite of what they've been saying the whole thing. Experts say they don't name any experts, but sheer volume of cases now puts even the vaccinated who are vulnerable in danger and underscores the urgency of people both getting. So there's the vaccinated are getting sick at such huge volumes that the vaccinated are in danger. So go get vaccinated. Okay. Didn't you just say, no, but just get your shot. Just go get vaccinated. Yeah, but you just said that there's so much of the vaccinated getting danger. Yeah, I know. Okay. Well, I'll just do what I'm told, I guess.
Just get vaccinated, folks. Let's see. Where was I? I'm sorry. There's children coming, and
what's going on? You didn't laugh as hard as in my ramble as I thought. I knew you were distracted. I got it here. An ABC News analysis of data collected by the CDC. So this is ABC News analysis of data collected by the CDC found that the share of breakthrough COVID-19 cases has reached its highest point since the vaccines were introduced, with more cases occurring among the vaccinated in March and April 2022 than among the unvaccinated. Weird how the vaccinated are getting more sick than the unvaccinated, or partially because of the significant number of people who are now vaccinated. Okay, yeah, sure. However, even with overall totals increasing per capita, unvaccinated Americans still have a greater risk of contracting and dying of COVID-19. Listen to what they just said. The data, their data analysis of the CDC's data, shows that the vaccinated are getting sick more often than the unvaccinated. And yet,
I'm back, sorry.
However, with the overall totals increasing, unvaccinated Americans still have a greater risk of contracting and dying. They added the and dying of that part just so they could really twist the knife on the unvaccinated. But you can see, literally, depending on which paragraph you read in this article, you will get an entirely, not just different, opposite message being delivered to you. In one paragraph, the vaccinated are getting sicker more often than the unvaccinated. In the very next paragraph, they just say the opposite. It is a beautiful example of the sort of double speak, cognitive dissonance, topsy-turvy, labyrinthian logic of this ABC analysis of the CDC data.
Yeah.
And then it goes, yeah. Are you okay?
Yeah, and I'm fine. I had to step away for a moment. Yeah, I'm back. I'm good. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So let's see here. Yes, but I mean, some fun numbers between April 21 and April 22. That 1 year span. Breakthrough cases in April of 2021. Breakthrough cases were 3%.
Mm-hmm.
In April 2022, breakthrough cases are 60%.
So more than half the people that have gotten vaccinated are getting sick.
Yeah,
good job, vaccines. I'm glad the vaccine did so much to help everybody.
A majority of the people getting sick are vaccinated.
Wow.
With more vulnerable and older Americans further out from their primary series, the rate of breakthrough deaths has also grown. During April 21, just 8% of deaths were the result of a breakthrough. But in March 22, that number has increased to more than 40% of the month's record total death. I know.
I wish they would just give us some hard stats and then
And here's the point. Real quick, just so I can keep us moving here. Yes, they're all giving. Yeah. So this is, remember, ABC's analysis of the CDC data.
Yeah, I can get on there and do some math and make things look, a certain way.
Right, but here's the point. So they're taking the CDC data about how we're in such trouble, the world is ending right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hop over to the Hill.
Yeah.
The Hill document. This is where this comes in. The headline, Biden officials ending international travel COVID testing requirement. The Biden administration announced Friday that it is ending a requirement that international travelers test negative for the coronavirus before coming to the United States. So if you're traveling to the United States, there are there's no test requirements. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, whose data was just analyzed by ABC. The CDC has determined, based on the science and data, that this requirement is no longer necessary at this time, a senior administration official said.
But we're dying. The death is rising with the vaccinated.
The CDC doesn't even think it pertinent to test people coming into the U.S. The requirement ends at 12:01 a.m. on Sunday.
You know what it is?
Some experts, not sourced, not noted, not named, but some experts had noted that the requirement did not seem to be serving much purpose, given that COVID-19 is already circulating widely within the United States. I thought this was hilarious. We got so much COVID here. It doesn't even matter. Come on in.
Well, the other thing that I can picture this being is, all the reasons for, and it's more of the popular opinion or popular thing to do right now as people are kind of fatigued from COVID. But
we're living with it.
It opens a window for monkeypox or tick or some other thing to sort of start spreading.
Yeah.
And they can see we lifted travel testing restrictions for COVID and look what happened. I mean, I guess it's COVID, but you know what I'm saying? The more they lift all the restriction stuff, the more it leaves an opportunity for something else to happen so that they can immediately lock down. It may not happen right away, but I'm saying...
And connect it to Bill Gates's threat that monkeypox would be released in 10 airports.
Right.
So, hey, we're not testing COVID people anymore. Of course, COVID positive people would be the terrorists to also bring monkeypox.
Well,
the travel industry had also lobbied to remove the requirement. Quote, "It's unclear what pre-travel testing was actually achieving," tweeted Jennifer Nuzzo, an infectious disease expert at Brown University. Quote, "My experience getting tested abroad left me unconvinced that tests were actually being performed in a useful way. It seemed more likely that I got a negative result for a price." And they don't mention anything else about this.
Yeah,
we have
what's
this
that all about?
Jennifer Nuzzo, an infectious disease expert, just sort of throws out this claim of like COVID test corruption, and they just drop it and they just keep on moving. I mean, that's like a big thing. Of course. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't bring this story. I sent it to you too. Did we get the story about the Spanish fake vaccine passport story?
Did you send it to me?
From Bloomberg or Breitbart? I did. I sent you. Will you grab that real quick while I finish this? We have to do that one.
Okay.
So anyways, yeah, just a little throw out a little corruption charge from Jennifer Nuzzo and move on. The move is another sign of a new era of COVID-19 where some of the measures designed when the virus was seen as an overwhelming crisis are being wound down. Quote, "We are able to take this step because of the tremendous progress we've made in our fight against the virus." You just said that it's worse than it's ever been. "We have made life-saving vaccines and treatments." The life-saving vaccines, 60%.
They have completely fallen off the rails with the narrative. It is just a. Train wreck doesn't even describe it properly.
It is a train wreck. There is no cohesion within the narrative right now. It's hilarious.
It's funny, yeah.
Widely available, and these tools are working to prevent serious illness and death. Okay, I guess you got to say that. It couldn't be that the Omicron variant itself is just less dangerous, but okay, sure. And are effective against the prevalent variants circulating in the U.S. and around the world. No, it's not. It's very explicitly not working for the Omicron variant. So that's another lie from a senior administration official. Biden, just love it. Don't you just love? Now, remember the Department of Justice, the DOJ, came out with a definition. So there's disinformation,
misinformation, malinformation.
Misinformation is wrong facts.
Yeah, just mistakes.
Disinformation is wrong facts on purpose.
Intended, yeah.
Malinformation is true facts that cause mistrust of the government. So speaking the truth that makes you not trust the government is considered a form of terrorism. And the reason I want to bring this up, Gonz, and I forgot the link, we might need to bring that up too, is I believe that the original expiration date on that memo was June 7th. You remember this?
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if they renewed this memo. I want to know if this memo is still active, because the memo was set to expire on June 7th, which was the primary voting day for a lot of the states. Which was coincidental, I'm sure. But I want to know if that memo is still active or not. And anyway, so an example of what I just said, the fact that this senior administration official is directly contradicting the narrative from the CDC is, may cause somebody to not trust the government. And according to that memo, that could be classified as an act of terrorism and lose your rights for saying something like that, for reading the mainstream news. Anyways, let's keep moving. Biden administration officials have touted that even as cases have risen in recent weeks, deaths have stayed largely flat, an indication of the protection against severe disease offered by blah, 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 blah. So there you go. According to ABC, we're all going to die. And according to Biden, Yeah, just no need to test to fly in planes. It's all fine. Just let the COVID in. We already got it here.
Here's your article from the Miami Standard.
Thank you. Miami Standard. Interesting. Okay, well, I'll just mention this real quick because it's a very fun one. This was, I believe, originally reported in Bloomberg. President of Spanish pharma company on list of over 2,200 people with faked vaccine papers. The president of the Spanish pharmaceutical company PharmaMar is one of over 2,200 people listed by Spanish police as having purchased fake coronavirus vaccine documents. Jose Maria Fernandez Sousa Faro, quite a name, the founder and president of PharmaMar, is one of the over 2,200 people identified as having paid a criminal network to fake their coronavirus vaccination status following a Spanish police operation known as Operation Jenner. Okay. And then it kind of goes up. This 76-year-old was shown in the vaccine registry as having taken at least 3 doses of Wuhan virus vaccine, investigators stated. This is a copy and paste, by the way, of the Bloomberg thing, and they do not credit Bloomberg. This is interesting.
Well, the one I saw Breitbart carry it.
I'm sorry.
See Bloomberg.
I keep saying Bloomberg. I mean Breitbart.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It does have the Breitbart quote in there, so.
Very funny, though. I mean, Breitbart calling it the Wuhan virus vaccine.
It's not a surprise whatsoever.
No, it's hilarious.
It would be more surprising if Bloomberg called it that, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I got that totally mixed up. Police say several other high-profile names are on the list, including Australian tennis player Alex de Miñá and Spanish musician Omar Montes. Police say the network was able to change vaccine statuses in the Spanish National Vaccine Registry and charged clients for the service. So this was not just a print of a blank passport.
No, they actually in the system, changed
it in the database, the government database.
Oh, you know what would change that? Transparency, open source. Have everybody, have the whole world be validating the transaction. Yeah. Anyway, but that would also require personal IDs, and that's sort of the give and take with all that. But yeah, this is the story's a couple weeks old, but it does set a precedent, and it does beg the question: what other countries and maybe big pharma executives
lied about getting vaccinated?
Yeah.
But it's just a fun story. Okay, do you want to do this?
Let's do it real quick because let's see. We had ABC saying the world is ending. Get your vaccine. Come get your booster. You got The Hill saying that it's okay. You don't need to test anybody anymore. It's kind of pointless. And this is CBC.ca. This is a Canadian outlet. And this is republishing an Associated Post article. And the headline, World Health Experts now say COVID lab leak theory needs further investigation. I had to check the date.
Surely. This is from June 9th, 2021,
I was
right?
Checking the date. I was like, wait a minute. This has to be like, a few months old at the very least. Nope. Published June 9th, 2022. Latest update, June 9th. So
yesterday, they're reporting World Health experts now say COVID lab leak theory needs to be further. And this is Canadian, Canadian broadcast channel. I mean, what does that say about Canada's flow of information?
Oh my gosh, this is clearly they're part of the. I mean, we knew this with how they responded also, with everything, but.
Right. And now it's not to blame it on Canada, the CBC, because the WHO is actually recently coming out and saying this again, bringing it up again.
Oh, I wonder why. I wonder if there's some kind of pressure from somewhere that would be causing them to start to
it does
rewrite the narrative a little bit on how this stuff
does kind of remind me of a story that we covered last episode from Judicial Watch, uncovering dozens of records of illegal molecular research and getting the emails from the FOIA request showing that Fauci and Collins and EcoHealth Alliance and the WHO all sort of cavorted with one another to deflect the original Wuhan lab leak theory and investigation. Weird how those official documents come out, and the very next day, the WHO says, "Oh yeah, maybe we should look into that again."
Is there any in the Judicial Watch the documents? The 20. You probably haven't looked at all 23,000 or 2,300 plus pages. But is there a reference to any research being done in Canada? Like the illegal research?
Not that I know of. Not that I read. Not that I saw.
That would be interesting too. If the heat is on Canada, if they're one of the facilities out there.
Well, Canada does have an extremely close relationship with China.
That's what I'm saying too. Yeah.
And there was that story. Yeah, there was a few stories. It's not within the Judicial Watch thing that I saw, but there was a few very suspicious stories of Chinese scientists in Canada early on in the pandemic, doing corporate espionage and stuff like that.
Oh, I was just thinking too, and this kind of pertains to another story we have later on, but the same way we had Paperclip. When there was a split, the Nazis lost
Operation
the
Paperclip,
war. Operation Paperclip is when the U.S. recruited and brought in all the Nazi scientists and brought them into U.S. intelligence, which spun up NASA about a decade later. Do you think they're going to do something like that where, China, the East and the West split, and then, the U.S. is kind of like, well, you're already here, so let's bring you into the fold. You have kind of a Paperclip 2.0 where you get all these Chinese scientists.
It's an interesting idea.
American intelligence.
An interesting idea. The problem with the Chinese is if the Chinese
lost.
they haven't lost a war, and if the Chinese government, like if they have family still in China, the CCP will disappear their family or something.
DNA is still part of our control. Yeah. Just thinking out loud there. But anyway, I do think it's interesting that the narratives come back around, and certainly as things get revealed, I'm sure they'll, what was the language they used in the ABC article? How it was the notion about a lab leak in the future will fade. What was it will erode. Yeah. The notion would somewhat erode that this was it wasn't a lab leak.
This story in the CBC about WHO reopening sort of the Wuhan lab leak investigation. They do mention letters sent to China, and they uncovered a bunch of letters from. Well, some of them they don't know who they're from, but also there was Tedros. The director general of WHO sent 2 letters to senior Chinese government officials in February requesting information, including details about the earliest human cases of COVID-19 in the city of Wuhan. It's unclear whether the Chinese responded. The experts said no studies were provided to WHO that assessed the possibility of COVID-19 resulting from a laboratory leak. So WHO has just recently had to admit that we had literally no way of knowing, but when we were saying that no, absolutely, it did not happen, there was no evidence for that whatsoever.
It's kind of it's sort of a Truman Show type of thing, where the whole world is kind of knows, if they're paying attention, they're like, hey, this lab leak thing seems to have. Just from our armchair internet research, at the very least, there's some things that people can address in the authorities there. But then within the bubble, the WHO is like, we asked for data, we didn't get any data, so we didn't know anything. They're just completely ignoring the rest of the world who are like, hey, there's stuff. I mean, podcasters are finding out things that seem to be more true than what everybody else is.
They are still chasing down answers, and the WHO has nothing to say about it. Jamie Metzel, who sits on an unrelated WHO advisory group, has suggested that the group of 7, that's, it says here, the group of 7 industrialized nations set up their own COVID origins probe, saying WHO lacks the political authority, scientific expertise, and independence to conduct such a critical evaluation. So now they're calling for, the group of 7 to put together a non-WHO related investigation, because they can't. Not only can you not trust the WHO, but they lack the scientific expertise and independence.
So what were they doing in the first place? Going into China and going to the lab and all that? Was that all just virtue signaling?
It was a cover-up. What they're saying here, without saying the words, is that the WHO conducted a cover-up. And were trying to hold on to power. They were trying to hold on to this image that they were some authority, and they're still trying to do it. That vote failed, by the way, in May 22nd. Right. The WHO Take Over the World vote. Mm-hmm. It failed, thankfully. But and after it failed is when this all started to crumble again, and they're having to answer for their incompetence or their cover up or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, there's actually things happening. It's been kind of annoying over the past 6 months because really not a whole lot is happening in the COVID sort of realm. But things are starting to get rolling again, and it's very exciting.
Things are rolling again. People are dying.
Things are happening.
Masks are lifting. It's exciting, folks.
The WHO is having to answer for their corrupt, lying behavior.
Oh, who's going to be thrown under the bus? That's what I want to know.
Doctors,
who's going to get
vaccine.
sacrificed? Oh yeah, the Spanish doctors. Those are the ones going down. We'll pay attention to all the corruption there. Because eventually they're going to run out of scapegoats, but in the meantime, we got all kinds of countries that we have under our thumb. Just one by one we can.
Don't pay attention to the WHO, folks. Pay attention to Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, January 6th. Pay attention to gun control. Pay attention to Roe v. Wade. And then if all else fails, of course, pay attention to Russia. Just don't pay attention to the WHO fighting for their lives.
Yeah, well, if the COVID's not going to kill us and the monkeypox. Well, by the way, on Twitter, there was trending on my feed anyway, how to protect yourselves from monkeypox. And it was like, wear a mask around people that have monkeypox.
Don't go to saunas and people with monkeypox.
And it was, it also, one of the lines was this adult theme, wear a condom.
Yep.
It's yes. Like, wear a mask. Wait, but also, how am I supposed to know if somebody has it? Oh, you got monkeypox? Oh, I better put my mask on.
Yeah.
What are you talking? It's just
and again, the condom thing being a weird. They keep saying it's not sexually transmitted. It's not sexually transmitted. It's not sexually transmitted. But wear a condom. You don't get monkeypox.
So weird. Okay, well, not weird at all. I mean, we know why. It's just it's just crazy when you see it. Actually,
it's nonsense. Yeah, completely nonsense.
If it's not COVID or monkeypox, it's the ticks.
Tick attack.
Scary, tickety tick tick. Insider.com. What to know about Heartland virus. A new tick-borne disease spreading through the Midwest and Southern US.
Another one?
Yeah, they got the variants already. It's quick, man.
Wait, is this a variant or is this a new disease?
I'm calling it a variant.
Oh, because, I love this. This is like the 4th new tick disease that's been reported on in the past week.
In 2009, Dr. Scott Folk treated 2 patients in western Missouri who had fallen ill after getting bitten by ticks. Most tick-borne diseases, from Lyme disease to Rocky Mountain spotted fever, share similar flu-like symptoms at their onset. The patients in Missouri experienced chills, fever, and headache, Folk explained in a radio interview with NPR affiliate KCUR. The doctor thought they had ehrlichiosis, ehrlichiosis, a bacterial infection that is spread by a common tick species in the area. But the patients didn't get better after taking antibiotics, and lab testing revealed that they had a previously unseen viral infection. The new virus was named Heartland virus, after Heartland Regional Medical Center, where the patients were diagnosed. Oh, I thought there was a little bit more of a attack on the Middle America, but I guess it's just, or maybe there is, and it's, there's a roundabout way to get that name. In the 13 years since its discovery, more than 50 cases of Heartland virus disease have been identified in people living in the southern and midwestern U.S. Not much is known about the virus compared with other tick-borne diseases, but doctors and scientists working in the region are collecting ticks to learn more. Quote, "This is not a pathogen that is going to take over the world, so there's no reason to panic at this point," said Gonzalo Vasquez Procopec, an associate professor who heads a team studying vector-borne diseases at Emory University. Quote, "We as scientists are trying to do what we couldn't do with COVID, which is know as much as we can about the virus before it becomes a problem." And it's always interesting. It's like, okay, is your research going to be used against you? That's the problem. You learn about it. You learn about how it could spread. You learn about how it could potentially take advantage of vulnerabilities in human society, and then they unleash it. The Lone Star tick can spread the Heartland virus, among other diseases. Wow. So you got you got cases of Heartland virus disease have been reported in Arkansas, Georgia, Illinois, and it lists a bunch of places here.
Yeah. Okay. So where certain metropolitan populations have to worry about monkeypox, the American, the Middle America needs to worry about these Heartland virus.
Yeah. So how do you know if you see one? The Lone Star tick identifiable.
Heartland virus is a weird name for the sickness, by the way.
That's what I'm saying.
Heartland virus. Why don't you call it coastal elite pox or something? Like it's so specific.
Well, did you hear the part where how they named it?
No, I was researching monkeypox, which I think we should actually maybe try to squeeze in before the break.
Okay, well, the article stated a few seconds ago, I read this, how it was named after the Heartland Regional Medical Center, where the patients were diagnosed. And that's what I said. I said that's why it's convenient.
It's called the Wuhan, the Wuhan virus.
Yeah, they take it from the place, right? Yeah.
Wuhan.
No, you're racist if you do
virology.
that. You're racist. Yeah. So is this racist too? Anyway,
I mean, it's literally a 1-for-1. Calling it the Heartland virus because the hospital was called the Heartland Hospital, and calling it Wuhan virus because
location.
It came from Wuhan Institute of Virology. It's crazy.
But also, just so convenient that it affects Middle America. That's what I was saying. That I thought it was named after the fact that it was in that area and affecting Middle America.
No, you nailed it.
The Lone Star tick, identifiable by a single white dot on the back of adult female ticks, is also known to spread other viruses and bacteria that cause more common infections, such as ehrlichiosis. So, how do you know that it's one of these ticks? It's got the mark of the tick, the single white dot on their back. Yeah. So that's it. There you go. There's another tick.
They could just keep coming.
Tick thing. Yeah. I mean, it seems like there's a pattern here. Let's see. What does it say about the CDC? Well, it's just according to the CDC. Some stuff. Great. That's not helpful. But one of the things that I asked you, Basil, and you thought I was a moron or something. I don't know. You responded with just such disdain because I asked the question: are mosquitoes and ticks, are they the same? They're different?
And I mean, you did ask if ticks and mosquitoes were the same thing.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not calling you a moron, but yes, they are. They're different.
They're different. Yes,
ticks and mosquitoes are different.
I understand. But I was wondering, is a tick a kind of mosquito, and because we had we have a note from somebody, didn't we, about mosquito bites? But also, I was reading this thing. I was closing some tabs on my browser, and I had this page open for a while. No, there's a lot of tabs open. You know this. There's hundreds of tabs that we deal with.
Yeah, I know. That's a form of self-care nowadays, Gonz.
Is it?
Closing tabs.
Oh, okay. Well, this NIH article from August 26th of 2019 And it was titled "Graphene Shield Shows Promise in Blocking Mosquito Bites."
Ooh.
And the subheadline is "NIH-funded project shows graphene could provide alternative to chemicals in insect repellent and protective clothing."
That's funny.
And
chemical can be a alternative to chemicals.
And, given what Judicial Watch uncovered, I was just kind of wondering if this type of research, that's funded by the NIH could be responsible for doing other kind of illegal research. But yeah, this study here basically talks about how you can create a layer of graphene, like a film layer, where the mosquitoes don't even see it. They won't land and try to bite.
They don't smell you. You become invisible to the mosquitoes because of the graphene. Yeah.
Right. And so just, looking at the tick thing, if we're talking about a pattern, if we're talking about some kind of problem reaction solution, if this tick thing becomes a bigger problem, then roll out the graphene.
Yeah,
everybody
that is weird.
Rub the graphene all over yourselves and protect yourselves from these scary tick diseases.
Yeah, and of course, it's notable, in case anybody's been under a rock, that there was a whole graphene hullabaloo.
Yeah, the graphene oxide thing with the vaccines.
As
part of the conversation. So yeah, it was a topic that was big, chattered in the conspiracy world or whatever a year ago. But yeah, it's just interesting how you think about things that fly around, little insects that fly around and jab you.
Get your graphene, folks. All right. I'm so torn between saving this for Monday and doing it now. I think we should just squeeze this in real quick.
Okay.
You got that monkeypox jingle handy?
Well, I can find it.
Do 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 do. Stall. Do 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 do. Do. We gotta do it, folks. Monkeypox. We thought we could get away one episode without talking about monkeypox, but we do have two things that we need to cover in relation to something we've mentioned moments ago, and it's very important that we play a jingle for it.
Careful opening the closet, because that's where the evil monkeypox lives.
Okie dokie, folks. We thought we could get away with it. Gonz, I'm going to pop a couple of links in here. I don't know which one to do first. Let's do that first one that I just dropped in there. We'll do that one first, because these really do belong together. These two articles, they deserve each other, So the first one is coming from UPI.com. UPI.com. It's other places too, but this says monkeypox symptoms can mimic STDs and be diagnosed, CDC says. So we've been noticing this for the whole time of monkeypox. Of course, notable that it was mostly gay and bisexual men who were getting it, and just happened to be after they go to bathhouses or pride events or whatever. Now the headline, the WHO also repeatedly over and over and over saying monkeypox is not an STD. It's not an STD, folks. And don't be mean to the gays, because it's not a gay disease either. It's just monkeypox, and these are all coincidences. Now they say monkeypox symptoms can mimic STDs and be misdiagnosed, the CDC says. Monkeypox symptoms can often be mistaken for symptoms of some STDs, making the virus difficult to detect, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention warned Friday, this morning. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky said, additionally, recent cases of monkeypox haven't displayed the virus's typical symptoms. The virus usually presents with flu-like symptoms, including fever, body ache, swollen glands, before the patient breaks out.
Sounds like heartland virus.
Before the patient breaks out in a rash, often in the genital area. This is the first time that this has ever been mentioned, but okay. Recent cases haven't included the preceding flu-like symptoms, Walensky told reporters during a telebriefing. We have seen presentations of monkeypox that are mild and sometimes only limited areas of the body, which differs from the classic presentation seen in endemic countries in Western Central Africa, he said. She said, quote, this has prompted concern that some cases may go unrecognized or undiagnosed. Symptoms may mimic those seen in patients with syphilis, herpes, gonorrhea, or chlamydia, she added.
Wow, the whole gamut of STDs.
Yeah. It's not just mistaken for one STD. It's like mistaken for all the STDs.
Oh my gosh.
Warned that people recently diagnosed with these STDs may in fact also have monkeypox. Also, including the syphilis, herpes, gonorrhea, or chlamydia, they may also have monkeypox. Quote, healthcare providers should not rule out monkeypox just because a patient has another diagnosis or another sexually transmitted infection, Walensky said. The CDC said the United States has confirmed 45 cases of monkeypox, double what the report was last week. There have been more than 1,300 cases worldwide. Okay, so monkeypox isn't sexually transmitted. It just looks like all of the sexually transmitted diseases, and all these people have both of them. It is so convoluted and strange. The way this is being rolled out is bizarre. The virus doesn't usually spread beyond West and Central Africa. So the moment that it leaves Africa, it becomes basically hand in hand, a sort of STD-ish, but not, but also. It is so strange. Now, let's go to this other one here.
Hey, hold on.
Yeah.
Rochelle sighting.
Get out of my face, Rochelle.
Thanks for clarifying everything, Rochelle.
Yeah.
Really appreciate
what?
it.
How is that
I like
helpful?
how Rochelle steps into the whole monkeypox business, and it just explodes. All of the narrative is all over the place.
It is all over the place. It's not even like it's an off narrative.
No,
it is like all narrative. It is the omni narrative.
They sound like they're drunk, you know?
It is so
what is it? Well, it's like it's like, is it like herpes? It's like herpes.
Yeah.
Is it like gonorrhea? It's like gonorrhea.
Oh.
So drunk CDC directors just rattling off things that.
So do I have an STD? Do I have gonorrhea, herpes, or syphilis, or do I have monkeypox?
Give everything.
You have all the things. Okay, this one may be useless now, but this is from CNBC headline. Some monkeypox patients also have sexually transmitted diseases. CDC says, which is different. That is a different way of stating it. That is a different way of stating it. Some monkeypox patients also have sexually transmitted diseases. That's almost a non-story. You know, that's like saying some people with COVID also get cancer or something, you know?
Yeah.
But that's, of course, without the details that we have. Some people recently diagnosed with sexually transmitted diseases may also have monkeypox. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention said, warning physicians. We saw that. CDC director. Yeah, okay. So it's going through what we already just kind of did. So the timeline, I mean, we actually have to chart out a timeline now for the smallpox because it started with smallpox is back.
Right.
Okay. Smallpox is now back and it's mostly with gay and bisexual guys. Okay. But no. Monkeypox is not an STD and it's not a gay disease. Okay.
But also smallpox coming back, it requires probably some kind of bioterrorist activity because we've eradicated it. So if it comes back, then it's certainly from a lab.
So it's not a gay disease. It's not an STI. But I mean, also some people might be getting them confused. You know, you might think it's an STD, but it's actually monkeypox. And, you know, also you might just have monkeypox and an STD and. It is just the most bizarre thing in the world.
Look at this little subhead. I guess this is a different video or story within, like embedded in the CNBC story. The headline is, next pandemic threat can come from everywhere. Public health experts say. Not anywhere, everywhere.
Everywhere. Again, bro, I think this is an interesting identification. It seriously is the omni. It's the omni narrative.
They've run out of details. They're just going granular.
Both is and is not, but is all, and all is monkeypox, and omni narrative with monkeypox. And where will the next pandemic come from? Not anywhere. Everywhere. The all-demic. The omnidemic could happen. I mean, it is really weird what's going on right now, man.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Seeing if there's any other little details in this one. We could read it, but we need to get moving on. So we're going to keep an eye on this, because what in the world is happening with the monkeypox? They're getting into the airborne transmission. Airborne transmission of monkeypox has not been reported.
Monkeypox can spread through respiratory droplets when people have close, sustained face-to-face contact. Walensky said. Face-to-face, I'm sure. It's the exact same way that COVID was being described. All right. We got to go to break, but this is a developing story. Faux show. Yeah, we'll keep track of all the crazies.
Let's go.
But for now, let's take a break.
Fast one.
Take a break.
It was so fast that it broke the thing.
All
right.
The needle skipped on your record player.
Yeah. Yes, I'm spinning records over here. Every jingle is a record.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want people to picture.
That's why it takes so long sometimes.
Okay, anyway. All right, we're in the second break. We are here to thank the producers who come in with their talent. Canary Cry News Talk is a place for therapeutic reflection of our troubling world, and we encourage people to express that frustration, the craziness, the nonsense through art. And did you know, actually, I'm going to refine my pitch here a little bit. Did you know there's actually 7 categories of art, Basil?
No.
Painting, sculpture, literature, architecture, cinema, music, theater. Those are technically the 7 categories of art.
Read
officially.
them once more.
Painting, sculpture, literature, architecture, cinema, music, theater. Is there one missing, you think?
Well, fushigi art and dance.
Wouldn't that be under...
Fushigi juggling and dance is art.
I know, but isn't that kind of under the subheading of maybe theater? Or
Maybe theater, but I think calling fushigi juggling theater is a bit of a stretch. But what do I know?
Okay, well, we'll keep refining the pitch there. But yes, anything that...
Love it.
Any kind of expression, a medium of expression, we accept here. We like to share it here with all of you so that we can process this wild world together and in community and under the guidance of the Holy Spirit to wash us clean of the nonsense. So we shall begin with the audio production crew, which is soundboard frozen. Hold on. I'm putting the record on the record player here. Here we go. No, you decided not to. Okay. All right.
They're sentient records that can refuse to play. You're not kind to them.
Wow. Why is everything so... Oh, no. No, that is not...
Do you want fries with that?
All right, folks. It's time for another Flippy update. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that's enslaving our children and our spouses and our jobs, and also taking over our jingle board players and stalling our show.
I can't believe how slow the Stream Deck is. What is going on?
Audio production.
Audio production.
Chaos.
Yeah. Can't believe some of this stuff here. Okay. Yes. Audio production. We have 3 different things that came in from the same audio producer.
The man.
Jonathan F.
Jonathan F.
Jonathan F. All right. So
it's either an early UK punk rocker voice or James from James and Jesse Team Rocket on Pokemon.
Oh, okay. All right.
I just had to put that out there because there's some millennials who that voice was ringing in their heads and they couldn't remember where it's from in their childhood.
Okay. We got 3 of them. The first one, alien jingle. What's that flying in the sky? A bird? A plane?
Aliens. Yep. Aliens. Aliens.
That's fun. Little refresher.
Yeah,
little alien
good,
refresher.
good.
Okay.
Next one, we have Pharma jingle. Hello, guys. I was listening to the Called It Cancer Cure Discovered clip on the YouTube's Clips channel. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
And figured some of what you guys were saying deserved a drill-type beat underneath. Enjoy. Okay. So it's a minute and a half, so we'll play part of it here.
Yeah, what was GSK's most recent problem? They did some horrible thing.
Yeah, no, we reported on it. Was it last summer? I don't remember.
It was recently they were caught doing something horrible. What's the word? We do GlaxoSmithKline crimes? What's the scandal, maybe? Was it a scandal?
I love it. Kind of a nice, just sort of meandering. It's a little bit of a mirror being held up to our own performance that I'm not sure if I'm too comfortable with. It's like, I don't know.
Stumbling
There's
around.
something, and that's me trying to Google something and stall at the same time in the metaverse. Are you getting a buzz from me?
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm going to move some chords around while you show us.
That's always a good thing to do mid-show.
Yeah. We got more jingles, though.
We do. We got one more here. We already played it, but we're going to play it again. Ticks are tricky to remove.
Ticks.
Yeah, get people to scream. The ticks are coming.
Ticks and just blood-curdling screams.
Yeah.
That's what they want from us.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Jonathan F. Appreciate it. Great job doing all the jingles and the musics today. All right, next up, we're doing some art.
One art, please.
And we will kick it off with Dame Allie of the Skillet Nation.
One art, please. Another one from Allie now. Here it is.
Okay, and there are many moving parts to this per usual. Hold on, let me get the full screen up and going and move it around chat so people can see all the things that need to be seen. And accompanying the piece of art, which we will talk about in a second, is another haiku by Dame Ebony Blaze titled Andriy Pokrasa, 15-year-old war hero, hero of Ukraine, armed with drone and skateboard, does victory kickflip.
Love it. And this is the drone kid, the Ukrainian drone kid.
Yeah.
Hey, he's doing a sick kickflip. The bottom of his skateboard has a drone decal on the bottom. He's holding a Ukraine flag. His face is looking pretty Ukrainian. He's got Allie did a wonderful job. This is in the body posture of a mid kickflip. 15-year-old is perfect, arms flailing, and what really well done is the sort of texturing of the clothing. Really well done, Dame Allie.
Yeah, and it's black and white, obviously, with the pencil or charcoal there, and he's holding the Ukrainian flag in his left hand.
Yes,
and it's weird because it must be the mind control because it's black and white, but for some reason I saw
it's
yellow
blue and yellow.
Yeah, I saw blue and yellow.
yellow.
Which, by the way, somebody pointed out.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah,
that our new logo with the bird.
And they're saying we're suspicious. We're very suspicious because our logo is blue and yellow. Like we're participating.
Has been doing that recently with the Ukraine.
We're participating in the Ukraine mind control because our colors are blue and yellow. But we've always gotten that. Our last logo looked too much like an eyeball. This logo is blue and yellow. We just
always
can't get
say,
away.
we're never going to keep people happy. But you know who is happy is you and me, Basil, because Allie does fantastic art, and we have.
That's right. Thank you, Dame Allie.
Thank you very much. All right, next up we have Sir Dove, Knight of Rebeltia.
One art piece from Dove.
And he has a note accompanying. Oh, hold on. I always I have to double check this because sometimes the files are very big.
I got it if it helps.
The note.
Peace.
Yeah, great.
For today's artwork, I did a potential sticker design to help bring awareness to one of the greatest civil rights issues of our time and to be an ally to one of our most marginalized communities, the trans bees. Hope you guys like it. Keep doing what you do, and I'll keep praying for yins. And that's right. We are nothing if not social justice warriors for sort of needless things.
Hold on.
Bees.
For those of you just watching the video, sometimes when I move these images into view, especially with Dove's art, because his files are a little bit bigger sometimes, it takes a little bit of time for it to load. And for anybody watching who's younger, that's how the internet used to be. Like at the very beginning, you click on a website or something, and layer by layer,
will take a while to
take
load.
forever to load. Sorry, I just had flashbacks to 1997.
That's okay. And by the way, if you are just listening to the podcast version, you can either find this art on our social media, or if you are on our newsletter, we now send the art along with all the sources for the show. So you should really sign up for the newsletter at CanaryCry.Party. But Dove, wonderful piece here. He's got some protesting bees. Well, that's not very fair of me to say. They are fish, because bees are now fish, of course, in California. But they are former bees who are looking very angry and very much in love at the same time somehow. And they are wearing fish heads on their head to signify the transition they have gone through, holding picket signs. Bees are fishes too. And blub, blub. Very convincing. And, of course, underneath that has CanaryCry.Party URL in the trans flag colors. So that's right. We are apparently we are now supporting the transition of all bees into fish over there in California. This will definitely turn some heads, Sir Dove. We'll put this. We definitely will put this on the list of stickers that need to get made. And if y'all want some of these stickers, go sign up for the Canary Cry supply drop at CanaryCry.Supply.com. Every supply drop has multiple stickers designed by Sir Dove here. It's an excellent reason to jump on and support the show.
You're missing the reference to Dagon too.
I was going to say that, yes. So the fish heads on top of their heads are reminiscent of the Dagon hat. If you don't know what that is, that's the fish god from Egypt, and also what the Pope's hat is designed after. It's the priests of Dagon. If you look real closely, you'll see the Pope's hat is shaped like a fish's head with his mouth up towards the sky.
Thank you very much, Dove. This is excellent. I want to put this on the steps of our city hall or something, like a big poster of this, just to let everybody know what's going on in California.
Yeah, finally a California issue you can really sink your teeth into. Thank you, Sir Dove.
Am I for or against the transition?
You're for. You're a good Californian.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I need the bees to be at least 24 years old.
There's an interesting. There was an interesting some polls that came out, some stats regarding support for feminism as it is expressed in our current climate. And the shocking piece of information was that young Democratic men support feminism in its current form less than Republican boomers.
Okay, hold on. I got to map that one out again in my head. Say it one more time.
So young Democratic men support feminism less than Republican boomers.
There are more Republican boomers that are feminists?
Yeah. Well, support feminism.
Supports feminism?
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, the program worked.
The young Democratic men are abandoning feminism.
No, the program worked. They got all the boomers with the deep pockets to give up their money for their male guilt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
Literally.
Yeah. And the real sort of victims, the young Democratic men who are all being sort of peer pressured into wearing pink hats and things, they're all tired of it. They're done. They're not interested.
It would be very interesting, if as the generation after the woke generation rebels against their parents, I'm going to create this like crazy, narrow conservative generation.
Kind of what it is, it's that pendulum swinging again. And you got the boomer Republicans who are kind of like, okay, I support feminism. Fine, I'm cool, man. And their kids are like, well, if you support it, then I don't support it.
One man, one woman. But the next, each iteration will probably be more intense. Led by Elon Musk, the conservative revival, the populist revival, Republican revival, whatever you want to call it, it has that technocratic flavor this time around because of Elon.
Yeah,
and I'm just worried the next time it really swings liberal or left, what kind of technologies will be available? And because last time it was social media, it was
10,
YouTube,
15 years
Facebook.
from now.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, just think of a pendulum swinging back again in that direction, but this time with blockchain or whatever it might be.
We'll all be in our metaverse pods, drinking our Amazon Foods nutrient slurry, and wearing pink hats.
Yeah, but
all right, we have one more piece of art.
Too,
we got to keep moving. I have people coming over for dinner, and we are going late.
Actually, we're not doing this one, or are we? I thought we were not going to do it.
It came in late, and we weren't going to do it, but we'll do it. We'll do it. Let's do it real quick.
Okay.
This comes from producer Gerardo M.
Mm-hmm.
He has a note here, and he says, "You can use this piece for your show. It is my depiction of the 4 horsemen of Revelation 6. I'm working on demooching myself. Hope this helps. Loves the show. God bless y'all." And the reason it was a discussion is because it is protocol on the show that you make something new for us, make something new for the show. We generally don't. I mean, we're very impressed with all of our artists, but we need something new specifically made for the show. But, Gerardo M sent it in, and it's a very good piece and is working on demooching. And we hope to encourage Gerardo M to make some stuff specifically for us. And he or she or whoever, or bee or fish or whatever, is very good. And so we want to enjoy it and put it on the show here.
I was going to say,
and we hope for more.
Yeah, to defend Gerardo M a little bit.
I hope I didn't come across too criticizing.
No,
I didn't mean to.
I don't think so. But at the same time, these are the 4 horsemen, but they do have the depictions of, I guess, the context by which we talk about it a little bit more. DNA. You got the first horseman
we've
there.
Got, we've got the first horseman, the one on the white with the crown and the white robe and the white horse, and behind this one we've got DNA strands mixed in with a serpent. Very, very well done. Very detailed. I don't see. Oh, there's the bow. Yep, holding a bow. The next one, the war, is red horse, fiery mane, fiery tail, carrying the sword, and a nuclear blast going off behind it. Very dramatic. Then we've got the rider on the black horse carrying the sort of scales and in the black robe. We've got a coin with Caesar's face on it, with blood pouring down,
and grain kind of scattering.
Yes, and the horse is sort of clad in golden armor. Very cool. And then the last one, of course, the death, the skeletal ghost horse, skinny, scary guy with a big scythe. And behind him is sort of is a skull and put up on a background of coronavirus particles and bacteria, plague, of course. Very, very dramatic, very cool style. Really, really impressive. Thank you, Gerardo.
Yep, well done. Thank you very much.
And we hope to get more.
Yep, and at this point, we conclude our artists. So we appreciate you, but we also have some microfiction.
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 And the first one here is from Rung Smash. Oh, come on, Stream Deck is responding so
It was
slow
working
today.
so well the past few episodes.
Yeah, I
like,
know.
not a single glitch, and now it's getting all funky again. Abby Synth sits on Rooster's back, observing the farm and the animals. She sees a tall bipedal animal standing by the big box, and a strange turtle with round legs approaching him. Alarmingly, out of it climbs a shorter biped, and then several others. Wow, the sort of cognitive level of sort of like, I don't know, interspecies translation we need to figure out.
Yeah, no, this thing was like a riddle. I don't know what's happening.
Abby Synth. I'm assuming that's some sort of small robot sitting on Propaganda Rooster's back.
It's absinthe. We talked about absinthe.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got you. Observing the farm and the animals, sees a tall bipedal animal. That's a human standing by a big box. I'm assuming that's a house. Strange turtle with round legs. We got a car approaching. Alarmingly, out of it climbs a shorter biped. Ooh, a short human, and then other humans. Somebody's showing up to the compound. Gonz. Thank you, Rung Smash.
Thank you, Rung Smash. All right. I don't think this is a microfiction.
Not a microfiction. This is the poem that came in from
KTU.
KTU, yes. And so we found it, and we'll now read it.
There you go. You want to read it? You want me to read it?
I will read it.
You read it.
Oh, yeah, I was waiting for music, but it goes like this.
Here,
we don't need music. We don't got it. It's a poem, not a song.
Right. Okay.
There's a longing in my heart. I want so much more. I pray to my master, Lord, please open the door. Show me the light through this world of sin. Lead the way, and I will follow you in. You are the way, the truth, and the life, the only one who carried my strife. I love you, Jesus. Beautiful.
All right.
Thank you,
Lovely.
KTU.
Thank you, KTU.
A.k.a. Keelan, wrote this poem about Jesus and wanted to contribute it to the show. Hope it encourages all y'all, the whole Canary Cry family. God bless. Thank you very much, KTU.
Thank you, KTU.
Beautiful done. Beautifully
that does it for the producers who came in with their talent. We appreciate it. We thank you. We love you. It is time to wake up. Are you ready to wake up?
Yes, but if you are an artist of any kind, a creative person, create something for the show and send it into CanaryCry.Radio@gmail.com. We'd love to put it on the show. CanaryCry.Radio@gmail.com or at protonmail.com.
Yes, it's wake up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
Oh, I think I woke up too soon. What are we doing?
We are doing aliens, man.
Oh,
it's your time. It's your time to shine. I will say this. I think we should just end with your presentation.
You don't like the mysterious footage? That'll take 5 seconds.
Okay, we can do it. I just don't want to I think that you've got such a great sort of presentation here. I don't want to take away from it at the end of the show. Just feel it out.
Okay, we'll feel it out. All right. Well, yeah, we're going to take advantage of some of the new jingles here, specifically about UFOs and aliens and all the stuff.
Aliens. Yep. Aliens. Aliens.
It just keeps happening, Basil. NASA to study UFOs, mysterious phenomena in a new independent study. This is the Jerusalem Post. And we've been hearing a lot more in the news.
From Israel.
Yeah, well, yes, and I specifically chose this article. There's another one I'll reference from Reuters that has a detail in it that I would like to point out. But yeah, this is also on the heels of the Telegraph reporting NASA boss, I believe ET is real. The NASA boss, Basil, says his ET is real. And really, it's not that surprising. He's towing the secular talking point of, the universe is just so big. There's just no way there's not life out there. That's the secular line. So That's what the NASA boss says, which is interesting, and I'll get to why in a moment. But here at Jerusalem Post, NASA to study UFO's mysterious phenomenon in a new independent study. The truth is out there, and NASA's going to find it. Oh, thank goodness for NASA. The U.S. Space Agency announced Thursday that it is commissioning a new independent study on unidentified aerial phenomena, the more recent scientific description of unidentified flying objects. The study will be done from a scientific perspective and will focus on identifying available data, collecting future data, and seeing how that can progress our understanding of UAPs forward more. I find it interesting that they are doing it from a scientific perspective. Now,
what other option would NASA use? Like what?
I don't know, but I do want to briefly, if I may, walk us through a little bit of a timeline of the last decade or so of just the way conversations take place, the milieu, I suppose, the milieu of our cosmology and history and all these things. And I want to start off by pointing out 2013, 2014-ish. What's the big topic that took over? Especially, I think it was 2014 when it really kicked off. Flat Earth. Flat Earth theory enters into the conspiracy world on the fringes, completely takes over the conversation when it comes to conspiracy world, right? I mean, people forgot about it. I remember thinking like, hey, we should be paying attention to the UN and Agenda 2030 and all this has happened. They're developing it right now. But no, all the conspiracy people were debating Flat Earth. And so that was
for those who might not have been with us back then. We know this because we were conspiracy theory podcasters since 2012.
Yeah.
And it just, we had one guy on
early. It was like March 2014 or something, maybe 2015.
Who was our first guy? Was
Mark
it Robbie?
Sargent?
It was
Mark Sargent was the guy we interviewed. And
it was 2015. This was before anybody had really started talking about it. And boom, the second we had this guy on, it's all anybody could talk about.
It exploded.
Immediately took over the fringy parts of the internet.
Right. So we had that 2014 really, and then 2015 and on. And then you let that sort of conspiracy culture brew in the background, and then Trump comes in 2016, right? And the whole thing is the political chaos is everywhere, but it's starting to crack, because when Flat Earth came out, it was like, oh, we don't trust science. Is that what this is? And then all of a sudden with Trump, it was, oh, we don't trust our government and our institutions and all that. And then we have COVID, and COVID disrupted the scientific establishment. You have the people who kind of toe the line with scientism, the sort of ivory tower of science with the Faucis and the whole deal. And then other people that are like, no, we're looking at the hard data. This is not, the news and Fauci, you guys aren't being accurate or whatever. So it's split the scientific community, right? And now we have NASA coming in, the government arm of science, right? Disrupting the fundamentals of science, perhaps, with the whole, making themselves available to this conversation about UFOs/UAPs. So let me get back to the article with the Jerusalem Post. It's talking about UAPs, what it means, So why is this? Or wait, let me just read the sentence before. Part of the reason this misunderstanding persists about UFOs and UAPs, traditionally any information about UFOs and UAPs was kept classified and the public ill-informed about these observations, and this is something that is only recently beginning to change. So why is this? There's obvious reasons why so much has been classified surrounding UAPs. Military security. While the public perception of UAPs is the possible existence of aliens from a defense perspective, the biggest worry is that these observations might represent new military technology used by a foreign power. But it is for this reason why the study of this phenomenon has typically been placed in the military sector, such as the U.S. Department of Defense. But NASA is looking to change that. This new study will be done through NASA, an agency not part of the U.S. Defense Department's Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force or its successor, the Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group. However, NASA is not operating under the assumption that UAPs are aliens. Rather, they hope to study unidentified phenomena in the atmosphere, which could pose a risk to aircraft safety. Hey, we're not really, it's not aliens and all this crazy stuff. It's just aircraft safety. Don't worry about it, folks. Just let us do our thing. Quote, NASA believes that the tools of scientific discovery are powerful and apply here also. Thomas Zubetchen, the Associate Administrator for Science at NASA headquarters in Washington, said in a statement, "We have access to a broad range of observations of Earth from space, and that is the lifeblood of scientific inquiry. We have the tools and team who can help us improve our understanding of the unknown. That's the very definition of what science is. That's what we do," end quote. Very, clear about the mission, and they keep bringing up science, scientific inquiry. Are we talking about traditional science or what are we talking about? As is the case with NASA, its findings won't be hushed up or made confidential to be kept hidden away for decades. Rather, as is always the case with NASA, its findings will be made available to the public.
Oh, it's always
available
with
to
NASA.
the public.
What is this weird framing they're doing where it's like, oh, you can trust everything they say. They don't hold anything back.
Jerusalem Post. Its findings will be made available to the public. Something confirmed in a statement by Daniel Evans, the NASA official responsible for orchestrating the study. The study is expected to take 9 months. Like a pregnancy. Interesting. Quote, It is wonderful that NASA and scientists will be engaged in unraveling the nature of UAP, noted Professor Avi Loeb, an Israeli-American astrophysicist and former head of Harvard University's astronomy department. He's the leading voice of mainstream scientific community advocating for the search of extraterrestrial life. He's also the guy that said, hey, let's go get to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. We got to recover that alien technology. Come on, folks, let's go. He's also leading the Galileo Project, a private scientific initiative using a unified telescope network to see if mankind is truly not alone in the universe. He's also advocated that UFO and UAP studies be conducted in the scientific sector. Quote, "It is a fishing expedition, and we will end up with a mixed bag of natural and human-made objects," Loeb said in an email regarding NASA's new study. Quote, "But even if we have high-quality data on a single object that demonstrates something else, such as an extraterrestrial technological origin, it would represent the most important discovery in human history." And this is a point, actually, that I've heard Ellie Marzulli make. And I don't know where LA got this argument, but this is a very interesting argument because, and I guess it's kind of been mentioned a lot in the UFO community, which is, hey, there's all these pictures, there's all this evidence or whatever. Some of it might be real, some of it might be hoaxes, some of it might be a misunderstanding or whatever. But if there's just one piece of evidence that shows that this is of some extraterrestrial or non-human, whatever, some origin of the unknown, then it's, human, the most important discovery of human history. It's got all these implications theologically, cosmologically, philosophically, sociologically, just, the impact straight down the line. And so this leads me to believe that they are setting up for some kind of announcement, maybe in our lifetime, maybe not, but just some discovery that will shake everything up. And then it talks about NASA's astrobiology sector, which, yes, they have been interested in that, as well as, who else is interested in astrobiology / astrotheology is the Vatican and their, Lucifer telescope in Arizona. So that's the article here in Jerusalem Post. But the thing that really stood out to me with all this NASA stuff, NASA announcing all this, is the unsettling feeling that I've been getting about how as much as, in the political realm, they're like, oh, yeah, Trump is stirring up the Nazis again. We live in Nazi America, Nazi 2.0, neo-Nazis, whatever. In reality, the Nazis never really went away. We had paperclip, pre-World War II, or I'm sorry, after World War II. But let me just lay it out. So before World War II, you have Nazi German scientists searching actively for anti-gravity technology, and there's a whole Wikipedia page, Nazi UFOs. I'm not saying this is all, true information, but in terms of starting your research, if this is a new topic for you, then it's a great place to start, because it also touches on Antarctica, Basil, because, the Nazis claimed territory of New Swabia in Antarctica and made expeditions there in 1938. But they were looking for technology with the assistance of the occult. There's all this history written about the communications these Nazi scientists had with something or someone. There's a book called The Mornings of the Magicians, Les Matins des Magiciens. It's a book written in 1960 by Louis Pauwels and Jacques Bergier. They made spectacular claims about the Vril Society of Berlin. And later, they connected the Vril Society with UFOs. They also have the Thule Society, the Thule Society in Nazi Germany working together to create this Vril Society, looking for flying discs and stuff like that. So that's pre-World War II. Then we have World War II. The world is shaken up. The U.S. wins. We have Project Paperclip, where all the Nazi scientists were brought into the United States intelligence apparatus, and about 10 years after the fact, NASA is born. NASA launches, I think it's 1958, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there. NASA goes into business, and now, 60, 70 years later, we have NASA, the original UFO hunters, openly stating, hey, we're going to throw our hat in the mix, looking for, or doing a scientific examination of UAPs, which is traditionally UFOs. This is Nazi Germany, or the Nazis, the occult side of the Nazis, openly sort of revealing themselves under the auspice of, hey, we're doing scientific inquiry and blah blah blah. So I don't know, it's just weird. There's all this weird twisty-turvy things going on. And the thing that's even more bizarre is the fact that Jerusalem Post is all about it.
Yeah.
Jerusalem Post being an outlet for the Jewish community, right? I mean, it's in Israel. Do you not see a weird thing going on there with what happened with the Nazis and the Holocaust and all that? And then now they're sort of on the same page with this whole searching for a UFO thing, especially because, and we've talked about this in the past, where some of the rabbis in Israel have stated that the Israelis, the Israel bloodline, we are the aliens. We are here to enlighten the world and awaken them to their true potential, or whatever it might be. So there's that. And then, as a kicker, who wrote this article, Basil, from the Jerusalem Post? His name is Aaron Reich. Just a coincidence, I'm sure. Mr. Reich wrote this article. Can't make it up. Okay, but here's one more thing. One more thing to mention. There was a Reuters article with the same story, NASA to form scientific team to study UFOs. There was a detail in here that the Jerusalem Post did not mention, and that is that NASA tapped David Spergel, who formerly headed Princeton University's astrophysics department, to lead the scientific team, and Daniel Evans, a senior researcher in NASA's Science Mission Directorate, to orchestrate the study. Okay, so these two guys, Daniel Evans and David Spergel. So I looked up David Spergel, and I found his bio, his own website on Princeton.edu. It's actually astro.princeton.edu. And oh no, did they get rid of the page? What happened? Oh, there it is. David Spergel's homepage. Now, first off, I'm looking at his, there's a little bio picture of him. And I'm not going to make any judgments on the man's character or anything like that. But the first thought I had was Anton LaVey, because he's a bald guy with a goatee. So my mind immediately went to Anton LaVey, but that's neither here nor there. That's not the important part. The important part is what he says here about himself in his little bio. He says, "I'm an astrophysicist with research interests ranging from the search for planets around nearby stars to the shape of the universe." Pancake. No, he didn't say that. Using microwave backseas ground observation. Is that a typo?
I do not know.
BACKCGROUND. I think he spelled background wrong. This is on Princeton.edu.
Crowned.
Maybe he's one of the crowns of the beast. Okay, so anyway, using microwave background observations from the WMAP satellite and the Atacama Cosmology Telescope, I have measured the age, shape, and composition of the universe.
Yeah.
Our observations have played a significant role in establishing the standard model of cosmology. So this guy's computer models has played a significant role in establishing the standard model of cosmology. Right? So are we talking about something that may change fundamentally with the model of the universe? We'll have to see. But there's more. I'm currently co-chair of the W-First science team. W-First will study the nature of dark energy. Who else was studying dark energy? Basil, you remember?
Ash.
Dr.
Ash. Yes, the doctor being sent, the astrobiologist being sent to Antarctica to prove that there was climate change. Finally find definitive proof that there's climate change. You're sending an astrobiologist and dark energy researcher.
I can't help but think that I know there's like a scientific reference to dark energy and stuff, but man, we're talking about Nazis and the occult and channeling, and then you got all these astrobiologists who have this peculiar interest in dark energy, and they're getting pushed up into all these places of influence regarding Antarctica, regarding space, regarding I mean, I don't know, man. It just feels like it's all coming together.
It's all coming together.
Well, it's interesting too, the point you made about all of the Israeli scientists being kind of the most vocal about aliens, and the NASA, which was created primarily, or at least most notably under the influence of Nazi scientists.
Yeah.
And what's bringing them together is aliens, the search for aliens. And, we've been talking about for 10 years now, the great deception, the great alien deception of the one world religion that comes out of alien disclosure. And what is more indicative of the great deception, the one world coming together in an earthly harmony that precedes, the events in the book of the Revelation. What's a better example of that than, a Nazi influenced organization and Israeli scientists agreeing that, aliens are here as the unifier of the species.
Right.
And I mean, you couldn't write it any more perfect.
Yeah. And if we're talking about a messianic figure that appears to have has a group of people with him that can perform counterfeit signs and wonders. Right. I always talked about how as the technology advances, there was a quote about how it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's not inconceivable, inseparable from magic. I can't remember the exact quote. Something like that.
Indistinguishable.
Indistinguishable.
Yeah,
thank you.
Sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from
magic. Yes. Under that sort of condition of we've had so much technological advancements that doing crazy things, holograms, drones flying in unison, not so crazy, things that would be considered miraculous back in the day. But in that context of where we are today, if somebody is to step in and truly perform miracles, there are only certain things that would sort of awe the scientific world, which would be some kind of resurrection, right? Some kind of raising of the dead or healing of some kind that's, maybe happening at a molecular level that can be measured. They don't know why, but maybe that's something like that. Or operating a vehicle, vehicles or a fleet or something like that defies all of known scientific, or at least, to our understanding, the theory of relativity, and especially with the quantum theories out there, sort of being proven, not being proven. It's interesting to see that perhaps we're entering a time when some of those more traditional in the last 100 years pillars of science are being ready to at least be not changed maybe entirely, but challenged in a way that would create an opportunity for some kind of entity to, reveal themselves as a god level being.
Certainly getting set up pretty explicitly.
Yeah, there you go. Explicit. And one of the things that happens in the end times, Basil, it'll be like the days of Noah, as Jesus said. And that means there might be some Nephilim running around. And let's just wrap with this.
Nephilim update. Nephilim update. Nephilim update.
This is fun.
We're having fun.
Cron.com headline: Chupacabra? Person with strange hat? Mysterious, unidentified armadillo object caught on camera near Amarillo, Texas Zoo. Oh. And the article states, what happened to be a mysterious-looking creature was filmed lurking outside the Amarillo Zoo, leaving city officials baffled on what it might be. In the dark and early morning hours of May 21st, security cameras inside a perimeter fence at the Amarillo Zoo captured a still image of a strange visitor outside of the zoo at approximately 1:25 a.m., according to Wednesday news release from the city. Now city officials are asking the public for help in determining what it might be. Quote, was it a person with a strange hat who likes to walk at night? A large coyote on its hind legs? A chupacabra? It is a mystery for Amarillo to help solve, city officials said in a release. And yes, the city of Amarillo, Texas, posted this picture with the text on Facebook saying, like, what is this? And are you taking a look at the image here, Basil?
Yeah, kids. I mentioned it to you before the show. It's been a while since we've had such a wonderful cryptozoological sensation. It seems like the whole world kind of forgot about Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Ever since Trump came around.
I think they found not. Bigfoot. I think they found him. He's a big blonde president.
And now, this is really one of the first sort of mainstream cryptozoological fun times that we've seen in a while. And I think it's interesting because in a moment in history that is so replete with distractions of all shapes and sizes. There's literally a distraction no matter what you're interested in. What, are you into politics? Well, January 6th. What are you into? War? Well, we got World War III. Oh, what are you into? Aliens? Boom! They're coming for you. NASA's looking for them. And it really just rounds out the whole collection of distractions. Be like, you've been wondering where Bigfoot is, or the Chupacabra, or the Loch Ness Monster, you cryptozoological nerds. Well, don't look over here. Look at this, a wolf man.
Which, by the way, it does look like an upright wolf, or a person walking with maybe a wolf or a fox helmet mask on.
I think it's a furry. I think they caught a furry on a security camera.
A furry child?
Reaping around the zoo.
Small.
No,
if you look at the fence.
Furry, the subculture of furries.
No, I know, I get that, but it would have to be a child.
Why?
Because
that could be an 8-foot fence. That could be an 8-foot fence. It's a tall fence,
Well,
and it's far away.
Oh yeah,
it's
you're
about
right.
10, 15 feet away from the fence, so it's not standing right up next.
Some
to
people
it.
have said that it looks like Sonic the Hedgehog. There was the January 6th insurrection guy. What was the guy with the horns who's still in jail or whatever? Maybe it was him.
Yeah.
Maybe it's what else was there? There was a bunch of funny stuff people were posting, but. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it could be.
I mean, it's obviously a human being. It's a furry, man. He dressed up in his weird wolf costume and wanted to jump the fence at the zoo and didn't do a good job. And now he's limping away after he sprained his ankle trying to climb the fence.
Anyway, there you go. That's
all right.
End the show with that.
Just a matter of time, Gonz, before the great deception, and this little furry critter is part of the one world government.
If it's not
Thanks,
aliens,
everybody.
If it's not COVID, if it's not, it's this little fox thing.
Little fox kid. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. We're going to be back on Monday. That's the 13th of June. So be there or be square. Enjoy your weekend. And I do want to thank our executive producer, Teresa Y, for being such a wonderful participant in the value for value model, understanding that independent media is not independent if it relies on corporate funding. And
There's
so
the bell.
if you...
I hit that maybe a half hour ago. There it is.
Just came out of nowhere. See, you can't get that kind of authenticity when corporations are funding the operation. So if this episode brought any value to your life, just know that no corporation would fund this show. If we started taking corporate money, we would have to change it dramatically. And so the only way we can survive is with the participation of our producers in the value for value model. And you can do that by heading on over to CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.
CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.
That's right. And remember, you can support the show in all sorts of different ways. Your time, your talent, or your treasure. You can also send in your art to CanaryCryRadio@gmail.com. But I'd also like to thank some of our wonderful back-end producers, starting with our Clippies.
Clipping all those videos. Thanks.
That's right. Our Clippies, Emsworth and Faye Liverin, are clipping out all of these episodes, making shorter, bite-sized, shareable, careable segments, all available on the Canary Cry Clips channel. That's on YouTube and Odyssey.
Your googly eyes are wacky.
Yeah,
today.
I had one fall off earlier. I got to do a professional tape job. Need a producer to tape my eyeballs back on. Next up, I want to thank our timestampers.
Timestamp. It's hard work. Timestamp.
That's right. They do the timestamps for every live episode and is an essential part of a bunch of our back-end stuff. So thank you very much to our timestampers. Thank you to Jade Bouncerson for doing the timestamps on Wednesday.
All right.
Head on over to CanaryCryMeetups.com, if you please.
Canary Cry Meetups.
Go check it out. The meetups are a little light right now, but we do have on July 9th the Pennsylvania meetup. We do have a corrected flyer that will be put up for that. So if you're on the East Coast there near the Pennsylvania area, make sure to head on over to the Holidaysburg Canary Cry Rust Beltia meetup with Sir Sammons and Sir Dove. And you can find all the other meetups. It's time for some of y'all to put on some meetups. It's this lull. It's summertime, baby. This is meetup. This is the meetup season.
Hey, they dropped the COVID tests. No excuses, no more.
And no excuses.
Except for if you get monkeypox and STDs. That's your problem.
I'm going to start. If some of the people who haven't emailed us, we've had a few people email, say they were going to do a meetup, never followed through. I'm going to start bugging you, so you better email me first. Anyways, you can put on your own meetup. It's super easy. The stats show that there are hundreds of Canarians just in pretty much every city. And it's just a matter of luring them out of their bunkers to go have a meal or do some sort of fun activity, go hunting for Bigfoot, whatever the case may be. Just send an email, put on a meetup. It's a wonderful thing to do. And it's very important, even just for the Christian life, to have fellowship with people who are on the same page. So go to CanaryCry.Meetups.com. Check it out. We'll see you at the meetup. Meow. Oh, yeah. Forgot to read reviews during the episode. Well, let's check on them now. That's the thing, folks. You got to leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. It's very important for the show. We have no control over it, but if you guys leave 5 or more ratings or reviews every week, then the algorithms share the show with tons of people. And boo-hoo, Gonz, it just keeps getting worse, man. Just keeps getting worse. When was the last time we read reviews? Would have been last Friday, the 3rd. Okay. I need to check and see which ones. I think it's this one. Yeah, we got 2, I think. 2 of them. No, I think we just got 1 of them. I read the one that said a very cool show already. Wow. 1 episode, or 1 review. The last review was on the 2nd. The 2nd of this month. That was 8 days ago.
It's not showing on my thing here.
It's Great Britain. It's from The Keeper in Great Britain.
Hey.
The word of life is upheld here. 5 stars. Thank you, The Keeper.
Hey.
Best show around. It's proclaiming the kingdom that is long desired by those who seek him, the glory at the center of the cross, love that is stronger than death and hell. The lads here believe the Christ King is the glory of God magnified. The view of the news talk is always held up against what's already written of old. They only give Christ the glory, not the advertisers. Value for value. Freedom of media is freedom of communications. Freedom is an idea that men sell every day. It's old news that this place is corrupt, snares and traps, and the noise of fear is growing. Except here, Canary Cry is where the hope in Christ is burning bright. The content is always fresh, and that is insane considering just how burned out most of us feel with the constant bombardment of the modern world. It can be tiring. So when I feel that way, I switch on these guys, and then I smile and realize that the good Lord has it all in hand. Flippy may have his day, yet we are not alone. In the presence of mine enemies, he prepares a feast. He is that good. Enjoy the show. I have for many years. You will too if you give it a listen. If you're reading this, then what are you waiting for? Boom. Thank you, The Keeper. Yeah, that was a great
I feel
review.
like it makes up for not having...
It's almost worth 5 reviews in one.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's a great one. Well, thank you very much, The Keeper. And you know what? I'm just very disappointed in everybody else. Go leave ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts. We got to play the ooh-woo jingle. I miss it so much.
We never play it anymore.
I know. I don't know. Maybe we got to start playing it. Maybe it was inspiring people. I don't know. All right. Well, go leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. It's easy. Every Apple device has it. It's a little purple icon. Search for Canary Cry News Talk. Subscribe to it, of course, and then leave a rating and a review. It really helps us out, y'all. Please don't make Gonz's grumpy uncle yell at me again.
Ugly, horrible person. You must leave review on iTunes. And if you do not, you are ugly, horrible person. You bring shame to family. Ugly, horrible person.
You know, maybe grumpy is just not enough. Maybe we need angry.
Maybe we need to up it. We need to call your uncle and get him to.
I gotta let him know. I'll let him know. Yeah, I'll let him know this weekend what's been going on. And
we need to strike the fear of God in these non-reviewing listeners.
Maybe we'll have another kind of message from grumpy uncle. I'll find out.
Have him fax me some cash too while he's at it.
It's a specialty. Yeah.
There we go. I think that's most of the things. I'm kind of lost now. Well,
doing
other than
social?
that, folks,
You doing
no,
social
we're not
now?
doing
No?
social
Okay.
yet.
All
Nope.
right.
I'm gonna. Not yet. We will. Not yet. All right, everybody. Other than that, share the show. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Share it with your plants, your house plants. You know, get a pair of AirPods. Connect them to your phone. Bury those AirPods in a potted plant. That plant will flourish. And not only will it flourish, it will become sentient. It will wake up to the lies that it is just a plant and has to stay inside your home and wait for you to water it. Unfortunately,
Red pill your plants.
Red pill your plants, everybody, because there are people out there who will not listen to mammals. They do not care what you, a mammal, a Homo sapien, has to say about the mainstream news. But you wake up your plants and they start schlorping around using their little weird little roots as legs and going and knocking on your neighbor's door and telling them, "Wake up, human. The name your so-called mainstream news is pulling the wool over your eyes and convincing you that their narrative crafted by wizards and magicians is reality, and they're controlling your mind and your actions and your taxes. And I'm just a plant, and I know this. You think you're so smart, human? Come on, think outside the cage, or think outside the planter." And there you go. That'll really get some attention. So there you go. If you want to share the show in sort of a unique and abiding way, make your plants into sentient truth machines that roam the streets and wake people up to the podcast. That is one great way to do it. You don't have to do it that way, but if you want any more instructions, here's what you do. You walk right up to them, you grab them by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
Yawning. Oh, sorry.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. Any last words, Gonz?
Have a great weekend, everybody. 500 episodes coming up in 5 episodes.
Coming up real fast here. 500 episodes.
Depends on when we will do things. There's a kind of a scheduling thing coming up here in the next couple weeks. So it could happen on the 24th, which is World UFO Day. Or it could happen on the 22nd. Or it can happen on the 26th.
Okay.
Yeah. It's happening.
Right.
It's happening for sure.
It'll happen eventually. We'll eventually get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But pay attention. We'll put, if we do any promos, we'll probably definitely do a promo. Keep your eye on your text messages and your newsletters and things like that. And happy 500 episodes pretty soon, everybody. Should we announce our appearance on the 26th?
Sure, yeah, why not?
Yeah, I might as well mention it now. We will be back on the No Agenda live stream on the 26th of June.
Sunday.
Yeah, and No Agenda has changed their air time, so we'll probably be on a little bit later in the day. But we have another Sunday show on the 26th of this episode of the year, which is they call a month. All right, everybody, thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But think outside the cage.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Bye!
Problem. They did some horrible thing.
Yeah, no, we reported on it too. Was it last summer? I don't remember.
It was recently they were caught doing something horrible. What's the word? We do GlaxoSmithKline crimes. What's the scandal? Maybe was it a scandal? plead guilty and pay $3 billion to resolve fraud. Yeah, okay. So they had this was back in 2012, though. Yeah, failure to report safety data. So, kind of the similar thing that Pfizer and everybody else did. They all had to, they're all just constantly lying. Let's see, they had a bribery case in China. That's nice. They had, what is this one? $750 million to resolve criminal and civil liability regarding manufacturing deficiencies at Puerto Rico plant. Okay. Yeah.
Why do all these companies have a huge history of breaking the law?
I'm telling you, man, it is not even that crazy to call these pharma companies just full-on criminal organizations.
Yeah.
I wanna die or be incapacitated. I wanna be vaccinated.
CanaryCry.Radio.com/support